Welcome back to Alexandra Palace, quite possibly the best venue on the entire snooker calendar. It's day 7, which means it's semi-finals day, which means we are officially in the business end of this incredible competition. The big question is, who will be competing in the Masters final tomorrow? The first man we do know, who just so happens to be the greatest player to ever pick up a snooker cue. Well, the second man, he'll be determined from tonight.
So Ali Carter, the captain, lands another title here in Berlin.
The captain pulls rank on one of the all-time greats of snooker.
Ali Carter has had to sit out the Masters for the last 4 years, but he's back and he's going to be in the semi-finals.
Mark Allen has landed one of the game's major titles. He's the Masters champion for 2018.
Mark Allen has produced a stunning comeback to win the UK Championship for the first time.
What a break, more Masters history made. Mark Allen sets the seal on a night he will never forget.
First time in more than 4 years, the Rocket will be playing in his incredibly 14th Masters final. Tomorrow he'll be facing the winner of tonight's tussle between Ali Carter and Mark Allen. As for us here in Ali Pally, the doors were opened about 45 seconds ago. These guys have been like coiled cobras to getting shot just in the nick of time. Delighted to be joined by Alan McManus and Jimmy White. Lads, it's been just, as a general note, superb so far.
It's been a fantastic week. The standard, especially at the start of the week, was sensational. Then we're getting some 6-5, some nitty-gritty deciders at all tension, and it's been fantastic. Some of the balls we've been seen knocking in to win matches right at the death have been right out the top drawer.
Jimmy, this afternoon, we didn't see a 6-5 frame decider, but what we did see was Ronnie and Sean having to dig deep, especially in that first half.
Yeah, the first half, you know, there was bits and pieces, and then after the interval, you know, Ronnie stepped up a gear. You know, he's tried to force the issue a little bit. He's not, because he's lost a couple of positional shots, so he hasn't made all them big breaks. But his long game is there, and his safety, you know, he bossed the safety with Sean Murphy. He'll be the first to tell you, you know, he was just too good for him. He just created too many chances. This is another great shot. Pots the red into the green pocket. He's only 67 in front. If he misses that, Sean Murphy can still draw, but he played it like a snooker shot. You know, these type of shots, if Ronnie starts knocking these in and starts getting the cue ball in more control to make big breaks in one visit, he's going to take some stopping. But this was a bit, as I say, pushed the boat out a bit, but he wanted to get the match done.
Al, it wasn't vintage Rocket by any stretch, but he just has this ability, a bit like Judd Trump previously, to win when he's not at his best.
Yes, at 3-2, Sean had asked him a serious question this afternoon with a couple of big tons as well to boot. And boy, did he answer it. I thought he was sensational. Ronnie, I think, mentioned a 3 out of 10 performance. No, it was far better than that. He took Sean apart when the chips were down a little bit in the match, because, let's be honest, the first 4 frames, he missed a bunch of shots that were pretty bog standard. But after the break, the switch got flicked and off he went into the distance. He was sensational in the end.
So Ronnie through to yet another Masters final, but who will he be playing? Well, one of the men is potentially the most informed man we were saying after round 1. Is that now? I'm sure we'll talk about it, but he spoke to Rachel, Ali Carter.
Ali, after missing out on this event for 4 years, to be in a semi-final once again and to put in a performance like that against Judd Trump, buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. The clearance I made to go 5-all. After, for all the money in the world, I looked like I was going to be 5-3 in front, felt like I should have been. Worked really hard to get that lead, and it was just a very, very strange thing happened on the table. I've never seen anything like it. I just had no shot to play. But to finish off the way I did, very pleasing. Do you enjoy the roller coaster of a match like that? No, I'd much rather win 6-0, but I suppose for the spectators, it was a great match to watch, and you know, it was a special match to be involved in.
And I think in that environment, when you go through all of those different emotions, you know, 1 minute you think you're out and then you're back in, and to be able to pluck up the courage of a clearance like that, that will stand you in good stead as you progress through to the weekend.
Absolutely. You know, it's been a long day now, and I want to get myself home and chill out and just live a bit normal for the next sort of 18 hours, and then well, probably 24 hours, and then I'll rock up tomorrow night and we do it all again. What
is living a little bit normal, and like what do we do from now and then? Because you've got to go out and do it all again. Like,
yeah,
what's that feeling like?
I'll go home and just put bangers and cash on, put my shorts on and my t-shirt, pour myself a glass of wine and chill out, and hopefully drift off to sleep on the sofa, wake up at 2 in the morning, stagger upstairs into bed, and yeah, try and get some kip in.
Do you find it easy to kind of put the thoughts of a big match aside? Is it easy to sleep? Is it easy to switch off?
It's not easy at all. That's one of the hardest things when you're on the ceiling after a match like that. It was midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning before I got home after my Mark Williams match. You know, and then you sit down and you have to just bring yourself back down to earth. And you know, I went to bed about 3 in the morning, but you know, you wake up at the usual time feeling a bit groggy, and you know, these are all the things that you know you have to deal with as a professional snooker player. It's terrible, isn't it?
So Mark Allen in a semi-final. In terms of Mark's style right now and where he's at with his game, you know, where do you rate him?
Tough match competitor. Won pretty much everything there is to win in the game. Very tough match, and I'm relishing the challenge.
Well, Ali Carter, always honest and always leaves it out on the table. Now, one thing about Ali Carter, Al, if we rewind the clock to the start of this tournament, not many people were talking about him ahead of it, but throughout it, they definitely have.
Yeah, he's been sensational right from the off. A very tough outing against Mark Williams. At 4-4, you thought maybe Will is going to take control. It was the opposite. He had 2-1 visits to get that match done. He's been sensational all week.
And he was also sensational against Trump. It was a long match, it was a hard match, it tested every element of his frame of mind.
Yeah, you know, at one point, Ali Carter was on his way home. You know, Judd had a very simple red to close out the match. He didn't take it. Ali then done this fantastic clearance. That pink he's potted there stayed down on the shot. Still under a little bit of pressure with this black. It's got to be potted. And you can see the fist pump, you know, back in the match, 5 each. Pots this fantastic blue. Doesn't quite get the screw on it, but the next shot, Alan, was sensational.
It was a triumph for technique. This next shot we're going to see, because he's got to get this. He's guaranteed to leave one for Judd being the left-hander. You see the red hanging in the middle of the table there. What I like about Ali Carter this week, he's not here to win matches. He's here to win the Masters, and that's the difference. There are players on the tour, even in the top 16, they'd be happy with a nice run here and there. He's here for the title, make no mistake about that.
OK, Al. Flip side of that, devil's advocate, could that actually be a problem? Because I don't think there's a player here who wants it more than him. Could he want it too much?
Possibly, yes, because of the way that he approaches it. He's kind of all action. He's all, he wants, I want it. You've got to relax in certain areas. So that's a brilliant point, Radzi, because he can't get too wrapped up in what I want. He's just got to do his business on the table and let his cue and his snooker do the talking.
And Jim, as we saw yesterday with Mark Allen's, again, late finish, he can tie a man down. Will Ali get frustrated?
I don't know. Talk about Ali Carter with Mark Allen. Ali Carter been looking at Mark Allen and thinking, well, how comes this guy's come through and won all these tournaments? I've only won, you know, I'm as good as him. I've been to the final of the world title, championship, I've been to the final of the Masters. And he's tried to improve in every aspect of his game. But Mark Allen, for me, he's got that persona around him, that body language that I'm going to win major tournaments. I don't care what the situation is. He's behind with John Higgins, not a problem. Behind with one of the best tactical players in the world. Mark Selby comes through, makes a 1-4-7. Doesn't seem to get rattled at all. He seems to know that he's going to win big tournaments.
Well, Mark Allen behind us here, we'll be talking about him in just a second, but when a player comes out to practice, that's our cue to leave, and that right there is a reason, just one half of the reasons why we're very excited about what's going to happen this evening.
Ali Carter looked down and out, but he's turned it around to reach the semi-finals.
Mark Allen sets the seal on a night he will never forget. The 2018 champion has won an absolute thriller.
Well, O'Sullivan and Murphy done and dusted from this afternoon, but could tonight be another historic one? Because in its 50-year history, the Masters has only ever had 5 maximum 147 breaks. Remarkably, 2 have been attained this week. Ronnie was in his seat for the first. Mark Allen was at the table for the second.
Well, he might want to play this black. The reward should be there if it goes in.
At the start of the break, I wasn't thinking 147. I'm thinking getting points on the board and getting a frame on the board.
May have in the back of his mind been thinking that he could like to keep potting reds and blacks, but what he really wants to do is win a frame. But the red to the middle is a pretty obvious way of staying on the black.
And he's never lacked for bottle.
A lot of precision will have to continue in the positional side of things, and he is one for keeping it very simple on the positional side of things. Now he's going to try for the 147, isn't he, when this red's potted? Why wouldn't he? The frame is secure now. There's all systems go from here.
The first mission accomplished. The crowd know what's building here.
Well, he's gone across the table, and I don't see how he can keep this going now.
I was perfect in position till 88, and then it was like recovery mode.
That is a fantastic shot.
Badly hampered here, but he's knocking them all in. Every shot is going to be applauded to the rafters by this capacity crowd from here on in. Can Allen hold his nerve?
I've seen one recovery shot. This is going to be another very difficult shot to play. Oh, we're in business here. Brilliant.
This is amazing stuff from Allen.
Even then, I land perfect on the blue, mess it up, don't land great on the pink.
Big bounce. Big bounce. No.
I think the crowd were getting more and more involved, and they were willing me on.
Slow down. Slow down. Oh.
The roar in that place, like, for me to get on that black, but I was thinking, just please be quiet so I can try and pot this.
He's got it. What a break. More Masters history made. How did he pull that out? Magnificent, Mark Allen.
I don't care how many 147s I see, I'll never get bored of watching them, Jim. There's something about them. The players want to see them, even if they're in the seat like you were 40 years ago now, Jim. Hate to say that bit. It's something incredible.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, when Kirk Stevens done that 147, you know, to make it at an event, OK, there's been quite a few at the World Championships because it's over longer distance, but to make one at the Masters, short format, all eyes on you, and it's such an important event. Everyone wants to win it. If you can get a 147 in the Masters on your CV like Mark Allen has in Ding, you know, it's a fantastic achievement.
And now they're always so different. We saw Sean Murphy at the shootout. That was fast. We've seen 2 this week. Ding's was almost stunning. Allen's was kind of beautifully ugly. They're just incredible.
Yeah, sometimes you get maximums where the cue ball's always on point for pretty much every shot. Like Ding's, to be honest, most of it was perfect. But Mark Allen's was totally different. He played about 6 recovery shots in it alone, and
Right.
and that was the sort of eye-catching part of it for me. And when it got down to the black and the thin, but I'm glad it wasn't me that was out there and it was him. And he held up to the pressure brilliantly because he wanted to give Ali Pali something special, and boy did he.
I wouldn't imagine Ding Junhui went for much of a celebration after he went out of the tournament. I wouldn't necessarily imagine that Mark Allen will be doing that tomorrow. But Jimmy, after your friend hit that 147, what did you get up to afterwards?
Well, no, we didn't have a... I went on to win the tournament, but we met a few days later, me and Kirk in London. You know, we had a nice dinner and a couple of glasses of wine. It was fantastic, you know, just so delighted that he had a 147 and I had won the tournament, and Radzi, you were getting on my nerves.
It was sparkling waters all round back in 1984. It is safe to say, as it will be for Mark Allen if he were to win this incredible tournament. He's first of all got to get past his semi-final, but first of all he spoke to Rachel.
Mark, it was late, it was a battle, it was a wonderful display in the end. Tell me how you're feeling now, because you've kind of come in, you've sat down, it's late in the night, but you look a little bit shell-shocked almost.
Yeah, it's one of those... It was a really strange game. I didn't feel comfortable out there at all. Even at the interval 3-1, making a 147, I felt like I was playing really poorly and I had chances every frame and just couldn't get any rhythm going. And then I just hung in there. I tried to play the right shots every time, and then he flukes 2 reds in the last frame, a terrible break off. I'm thinking, that's not the way to lose, and I got my chance. I thought I fluffed my lines, missing an easy red on 51, just completely took my eye off it. I felt really good, and then you're just praying for another chance, and I got it at the end and put some good balls.
Yeah, you did, and obviously you left yourself in an awkward brown at the end, but it was a pressure shot, but you played it so well.
Yeah, it was such an easy safety, but whenever Mark's snookered, you always feel like he knows how to get out of it and leave it safe, so I just thought, no, I'm going for it now. This brown's going in, and I'm very, very happy to be sitting here the winner.
The highs of beating Mark Selby and a 147 as well. Got to be thinking about the semi-final now and a Mr. Ali Carter.
Yeah, I'll need to play better. I know I've obviously sitting here, I've won and I've made a 147, but you know yourself, Mark wasn't at his best, and I had a lot of chances that I sort of squandered, and Ali probably has been the best player this week. I just need to play better because Ali's been on form. Ali'd be the first to admit he let himself get very frustrated out there and probably lost a few matches that he shouldn't have because of that. I think his mental approach is really, really good now, and I don't know if that's come from working with Chris Henry, but he's always been an unbelievable player, great cueist, one of the best cue actions in the game, and just having that inner belief and not letting things get to you out there is massive for him, because he's a big tournament winner and a big time player.
How much would you desperately love to be in the final on Sunday?
Yeah, I would. Look, that's what I come here for. I want to try and win the tournament. Getting to semis and stuff is not good enough, but Ali will have other things to say about that. I just need to go out there and try and play well.
Jimmy, I've got to say, Mark Allen looks pretty good for a man who's had an absolute war against John Higgins, a war against Mark Selby. You'd think he'd be shattered, apparently not.
No, he doesn't care, you know, and he's really honest about the way he talks about his opponent. He's bang on the money what he said, all about Ali Carter there, you know, giving him the utmost respect. Yeah, actually, this guy has got such self-belief, he doesn't care who it is, he's just playing the balls. When he talked about that 147, all he was interested in, most of that break, was to get a frame on the board, get back in the match. He's all about winning, and you know, he just, like, for me, he just believes he's the best player in the world, which you have to do at this level, and he believes that every time he goes out to play a match, he's going to win, whether it's like tactical, high breaks, whatever. He's sort of, his temperament is quite incredible. I'm so impressed. The more I see him keep winning, and I'm looking at the way his thought process is, he's just getting stronger and stronger.
And I wonder what that does for your frame of mind to come past, like I said, John Higgins, but significantly Mark Selby. It was a long match last night. It could have gone either way, and they were just at each other like that.
Yeah, it was very gruelling, wasn't it? But the good thing about what Mark has now, I think he's actually changed his game more so than probably any top player in, well, pretty much anyone I can think of since back in the day. It's worth having a look at the clearance. He was, you know, you've got to remain firm when it gets deep in the decider like this. And the brown that he potted to the right middle pocket was as good a shot as he's probably ever played. The pink was no problem. There was a couple of snookers needed, but he used to be very dynamic and sort of swashbuckling, but he's not of that ilk now. He actually, it's like he wants a tough match. He wants a scrap, because he feels that if it gets to be a bit of a scrap, he's always going to come out on top. Yes, he can still produce the fireworks like he did in the Champions final, and he brushed aside Judd Trump, no less, 10-3. But he's a different player now to what he was 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, it might be a different kind of scrap against Ali Carter. Now, they do have form. They've played each other 12 times, and you cannot separate them in their head-to-head. Fairly similar in ages, and you could compare their CVs, I guess, over the course of a career, given the fact that Ali Carter perhaps started a little bit before him, Jim. But I just wonder, compared to Mark Selby, compared to John Higgins, Ali Carter offers a different challenge.
I suppose so. I suppose because of his resilience this week, you know, the 2 matches that Ali Carter's won, he showed that he's not losing, you know, his temperament when the things are not going right for him, like that Trump when he had that fluke. You know, and Ali Carter 2 or 3 years ago would have sort of not meant to turn it in, but he would be so frustrated that he would take it into the next few shots he had. He doesn't have that now. I think that's down to Chris Henry. I think he works hard. Okay. He scores heavy, and but so does Mark Allen. What Mark Allen has for me as well is that when it is a tactical game and there's lots of safety, all of a sudden he's presented with a real long red, like that last red he potted in that VT against Mark Selby to win. He gets down, resets himself, you know, and knocked that long red in. I think Carter has got to play his top game tonight to beat Mark Allen.
What excites me most about this match, Alan, is both these men really want it. Ali Carter would love a Triple Crown, almost just to tick that off his career. How do we see this one going?
I think Ali Carter's going to win tonight for a few reasons, actually. I think he's having a better season than what Mark Allen is. The champion of champions aside, that was only one event. He's also scoring better than Mark Allen. They both won 12 frames this week. Ali Carter's had 10 breaks over 60. Mark Allen's only had 4. So I think that proves that he's certainly playing at least as good as Mark Allen, but I believe he's playing better. I also think that the prize of O'Sullivan in the final might help Ali Carter, because if and when he gets there, he might not be expected to win, so I think that might help him in this one.
We wonder, will his temperament hold? Well, let's find out as we hand to Rob, the Talker Walker, to get the proceedings underway.
Please welcome a player emerging for a 7th Triple Crown semi-final after victory over defending champion Judd Trump. Reigning German Masters champion, a figure of immense tenacity on and off the table. Here comes the captain, Ali Carter. What an atmosphere tonight, and his opponent, the champion from 18, making his 4th Masters semi-final after a brilliant comeback and the maximum against Selby. Bidding for a 3rd final this season, the pride of Northern Ireland, Mark the Pistol Allen.
Could it be another final frame decider for Mark Allen? Or will Ali Carter put pay and have another masterful performance? Let's find out as we hand to our commentary team for this evening of Neal Foulds and Dave Hendon.
Well, 2 players here who survived a nerve-shredding Friday, 2 deciding frame victories. Ali Carter over Judd Trump and Mark Allen over Mark Selby. In fact, so they're 2 players who you could certainly see becoming world champion, because they've beaten, each of them, 2 world champions en route. Very tough route just to get through to the semis, and whoever wins will be the last line of defence against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final.
Thank you. The first frame, Ali Carter to break.
We just know Saturday night is going to be special. Not a special break-off, though, from Ali Carter in the first frame. I think this is a very hard one to call. It's 6 each on the head, Ted. Obviously, Allen battled through last night. The maximum was the highlight. Other than that, he had to dig deep. A post-midnight finish. And Carter as well, he looked out. Trump had match ball for 6-4. So, be surprising, Neal, I think, if this was a runaway.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, both players, both of their matches were tight, weren't they? Mark Allen has 2-6-5, the Higgins match, and of course, the Selby match, and Carter 6-4, 6-5, his wins. It's a very strange match last evening. As, I'm always glad that Mark Allen saw it the same way, because he trailed 4-1 and he'd made a 1-4-7. And I'm not sure how he'd lost all the other frames. It was odd, but it felt like he might win, even from the point where he was still behind at 4-2, 4-3. He looked the stronger. I think the fact that it went 6-5 slightly flattered Mark Selby on the balance of all play. Anyway, he can get through to the blue. Clearly, he doesn't think he can get down for a red from it. But it was a terrific night all the same, you know. It had everything, that, you know, the maximum errors, a tight finish. That was a really good match, which Mark Allen, I think, as I say, deserved to win.
Yeah, it was a great day. The first match as well was absolutely thrilling. As Mark Allen gets all the long stuff out here for this green.
I think he's playing presumably around the back of the blue here, around the angles. Yeah, that's what he's played. Very positively struck as he got into the reds. If he's played that, that is a phenomenal shot, because if the black, especially the black, goes to the left corner, say around the back of the blue, as he was the angles coming at a wide angle here, disturb the two reds. Amazing shot. And the black is on. It's hard to think how he could have played the last shot any better. Thinking of it was hard enough, never mind playing it.
He's just become so accustomed, of course, to winning of late. He won 3 big titles last season. He's won 2 already this season. Of course, he won this in 2018, but until this year, he hadn't won another match at Alexandra Palace, so it was about time he got going again. It's already been a very memorable tournament, but as he said himself in the interview, it's not here for semi-finals. Obviously, the maximum was great, but he'll be disappointed if he doesn't leave without that trophy.
Well, there have been players in the game before like that. The likes of Stephen Hendry, who never saw anything but winning the tournament he's playing as a success. Losing in a semi or a final, no good to him. Being on that red by the black really opens things up, but he has overhit it. He may have enough of the red still to pot it.
17.
Yeah, of course, since last night, the table's been reclothed, so it's been playing quicker. Both players have had a knock on it ahead of the match.
Didn't like the shot, did he, very much? And he played a couple of not dissimilar shots of cutback blacks in that 147 like that. Didn't fancy it very much. And this is corner to corner. Don't know exactly how far that would be. The ball's got to travel one to the other. About 13 feet or something.
One.
His attitude has definitely helped this week. Yesterday, he had that particularly one big slice of ill fortune when Trump got that snooker on the green, where it looked like he might have fluked it and then looked like he might have left it. It's been an issue in his career. He admits that himself. Or has it gone too far here?
I felt like it was going to go too far. Touching ball tells us he can't get to the red he wants to. Yeah, I mean, the shot you mentioned, the Judd Trump, where he got out and snookered him, was just unbelievable. Good fortune for one and rotten luck for Ali, but he kind of found a way of overcoming it, didn't he? Which was a feat.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I think, as he said himself, I'm only saying what he said, in previous years, that would really have done him in, but he got the chance unexpectedly in the end and made a great break in the decider, actually. Big colours were awkward, relying on the blue. Made a 64, not the highest break of the week, but one of the most important.
I think most players might have thought it wasn't going to be their day after what happened, but anyway, both players have been in with something and slightly run out of position.
Foul. Under miss. Ali Carter.
Good grief, that was close. Rob Spencer, those on the case. Just a very, very slight adjustment needed.
Hard to think of a best of 11 or one session match much bigger than this one. Of course, the UK semi-finals as well. You know, it's a big night, isn't it, for both of these two? Must be just checking as to where the cue ball was. Seems that you can see a red. I think that's what it's all about. He's hit this one with more pace, it seems, than the previous. No problem this time.
As I say, 6-all on the head-to-head. This is actually the furthest in a tournament they've met. A couple of quarterfinals actually this season. Champion of Champions, Alan won. Wuhan Open out in China, Ali Carter won. But this is, well, it is their biggest meeting yet as professionals. Of course, Carter was runner-up last time he was here, actually 4 years ago. Alan the winner in 2018. Carter's certainly inspired by the occasion. I mean, you would think most people would be, but the fact he's won the German Masters twice tells you that. That's also played in a huge arena, the Tempodrome, of course, in Berlin. He'll be defending that title in a couple of weeks. Oh dear, caught the knuckle.
He always looks a little awkward on those shots because he's leans across and uses the rest right-handed. And I don't think it's ever a comfortable look from that side of the table. Given that he may not have needed the rest had he been right-handed, it just looks a bit weird. And he missed the shot accordingly. And he's surprised how far he missed it by the looks of things.
It's one of these matches. We've seen a few this week. You feel like you've sort of started with the decider. You may well, of course, end up in one. Both players desperate to settle down, get going. With that big prize, not just to play in the Masters final, but to play Ronnie O'Sullivan all day on Sunday. Doesn't get much bigger than that, really.
Got the feeling he didn't fancy the pot that much. Look at where the cue ball finished. On the black very nicely. So a fairly nervy start for sure, this. Well, he needs some cover. That not a good shot from Carter. Out of character because his all-round game is strong now, but he didn't want to be leaving this red.
1. Eight.
Bottom line with Alan is he's become very tough to beat. He's found the winning formula.
Yeah, that was not a good shot, though. He hit 2 reds on the way through. I'm sure he didn't mean to hit them both. It feels like these two both enjoy a battle. It suggests we're going to get one, doesn't it? It feels as if it's a match that couldn't be very one-sided.
Well, this is kind of the black he had last night for the maximum, isn't it?
Very similar.
Of course, there's a lot more on that.
It's a real strong suit in his game, those little controlled screw shots where he plays into reds.
16.
Very compact cue action, very much helps on those sort of little shots.
Yeah, I think as well, and we saw it certainly in the maximum, if you want a crunch ball potted, there's few better now than Mark Allen. I think at times last season he was just sort of
17.
trying to get the balance right between the more defensive game that he'd worked on and his more natural flowing game. And I think he's much closer to that now. We've seen it, of course, at the Champion of Champions, where he completely overwhelmed Trump in the final.
Well, last night his long game, I think, was the key, which is not always the case with him. Don't really think of him as an outrageously good and consistent long potter, but he barely missed one all evening.
$22.
Just looking to settle here by putting a frame on the board.
$25.
Well, he's not a choice of reds, neither of which is absolutely perfect, but can lean across and perhaps run this around 2 cushions if it's just off straight. Well, he's playing to screw it back. Oh dear. That was pretty easy, let's be honest. It was more the way he was stretching that perhaps is
25.
the reason as to why he missed it. Be annoyed there. That was just starting to get into things there.
So a disjointed start to this opening frame. Looked like Allen may take it there, but missed that red. It often feels, and there's no, you'll have to go back every year to work this out, but this semi-final on Saturday, it often seems to be a nervy affair because obviously you're so close to the final. You know who you're going to play as well. It's the other thing. So they know they'll have that match with O'Sullivan. and also the dynamic between them. They're similar types of players in some ways, and obviously the head-to-head's very close, so signs are it could be quite an evening.
Well, maybe a shot to nothing red. It's a little straight to be making it an easy up the table job. And that's why he kind of hit it on the thin side of the potting angle. And it's green to help him, and it has. Probably what he played, and he's got the cover. Well, he's not quite sure what to do. There's not much he can do that's particularly positive. Pushing a couple of reds safe. Carter, you feel, will just move that red that he's closest to away in playing safe. He wouldn't want to leave it there. But just take the cue ball up down the left side of the table where he's not going to get anything in the way of a snooker. That's all he can do, I think. Didn't want the blue to go even safer. It's just a 30-point deficit, but could do with balls out in the open play where possible. Well, it's not a great start to the match, let's be honest. It's just one frame, but sometimes when it's the first frame that goes a little scrappy and bogged down, you think the whole night's going to be like that, but it invariably usually gets a lot better, especially settling in, different cloth. Big match, as Dave was saying, you know, to play O'Sullivan in a Masters final. Some occasion.
Oh, he's caught the other red. Could have been worse, I guess. Yeah, I think the other thing is, of course, they're both acutely aware of how each of them has got through and the way they battled. And this is already sort of been decided it's going to be another battle, I think. This is what I was saying about Mark Allen. These crunch balls, he does seem to pot them. He's got him back in. He's got a useful lead.
And that's okay. Didn't run on top of the other red. Now, if you can roll this in and be on the black, you feel that this frame should be
4
within his grasp. Take the
5.
The reds in and around the black spot. Taking very close to winning the frame. But 2 more reds with colours after this black, that should be it. Barring snookers anyway, so if it's a scrappy opener and you win it, it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, and Alan has developed this sort of attitude to these sort of frames. He just doesn't care if they go kind of bad. He just wins them, it seems. Whereas maybe in the past his sort of focus would have gone if he was struggling and he wasn't maybe as adept as some of the others at winning these frames. That's changed, definitely.
12.
Maybe at times towards the end of last season it went a bit too much like this. There was a period where he just wasn't making breaks at all. But as I say, the balance has definitely returned to his game.
$30.
Yeah, so if Pots the black is 50 in front, he would still need red and a colour. Didn't get the angle he was looking for on the red near the black, so it's going to be this one down the cushion.
20.
Yeah, and this is not really the one he wanted to be involved in, but like you say, it's the one he's forced to be playing. He's already leant over and missed something down there, and it was a lot easier than this one. I mean, look how far across he's leaning here. It's all worked out for the best, in a way, getting on that red now. Taking the black and the other red, he's absolutely guaranteed they'll have a 1-0 lead.
Well, it's been hard work, this opening frame, 26 minutes, but 2 snookers needed on the red, so surely that
28.
will be sufficient.
29.
It's all been sort of bits and pieces, this, but
36.
Mark Allen is going to win the frame.
Mark Allen, 36.
It took a bit of winning. Highest break was that 36 there. I'm sure things will liven up. As it is, though, Mark Allen leads Ali Carter 1-0. So Mark Allen leads 1-0 in this best of 11 frame semi-final. 40 years ago, of course, this session, the semi-final Saturday night, that was Jimmy White, Kirk Stevens, one of the great matches of the Masters, where Kirk made his maximum. Jimmy had a couple of centuries as well. In fact, finished off with one. One of the many, many great memories from this tournament. Of course, these two trying to create their own here. Mark Allen's already done that last night.
Superb. Running on a bit. He wanted to slow down. Wouldn't deserve not to be on the brown, really. He just trickled a bit further once again. Yeah, thinking of those memories, Dave. You know, the Paul Hunter years at the Conference Centre, 3 wins in 4 years is right up there with all of the great things that have happened in Masters history. In 1 year, he came from a long way back to beat O'Sullivan in the final, something that very few people ever seem to do. Very good shot. Wasn't concerned by the fact that he shouldn't have had to play the blue.
6.
Yeah, Sullivan 7-2 up going into the final session. Paul Hunter came back to beat him. Incredible. And the trophy, of course, named after him, which is
7.
Nice.
This was also nice, wasn't it? It's after the struggles of frame 1, he needs to get on the front foot, which he certainly did there with that blue. Yeah, there's been a few trophies actually down the years. Stephen Hendry was given one of them to keep because he won it 5 years running from his first appearance in 1989. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to the great man. But yeah, he just kept winning it. They thought you might as well keep it.
$20. 21.
I think that's okay. There must be a red to the left middle available. One of those two,
28.
surely. He seems to attract a bit of bad luck sometimes, Ali Carter. He lets you know about it, but he's not the luckiest player I've seen. But surely a red goes here to left middle.
$29.
He almost missed it to the top jaw, which took the pace out of the cue ball. But I think it's gone far enough for him to be on the red.
$35. $40. $41.
That's a good chance now, and he worked very hard just to get himself into this position. I think it's true. A lot has been said about his temperament, and it appears to be as good as it's ever been. He almost has accepted that you're going to get bad luck, and
49.
you might not take kindly to it, but use it as an inspiration to fight it off rather than just assume it's not going to be your evening. Lost his call a little bit against Judd after that terrible piece of misfortune, but he knuckled down at the end.
56.
Yeah, and I said right at the start of the week, because I was at the Championship League last week and I was talking to Ali and I was saying that he was really looking forward to playing in this because, of course, he hasn't for 4 years. And even then, he only got in because Ronnie O'Sullivan didn't enter, so he was next on the list. He's had to sit it out, watch the great atmosphere and players competing in it, winning it. So he's been really itching to get back, and my word, he's made the most of it. And certainly not the sort of character to be overawed by the crowd here in the arena. So after that very scrappy first frame, this is much more like it, and I think this will be much more like what we'll see for the rest of the evening.
$65.
Well, 65 in front, so pink to leave Alan needing snookers.
Yeah, and he might want to play to get too close to red here because of that point that he needs this ball. It's all right. It's fine. And another red frame definitely is. And as you say, it's a much better frame to win than the way the first frame panned out. Of course, they all count the same, but this one will inspire a bit of confidence, I think. But he hasn't quite won it yet.
Alexandra 71.
Frustrating. That would have killed it off as it is. Well, we've seen frames one snookers required. He's absolutely livid.
Well, he wants to be on the black. He's easy to screw up for a lower value colour from this first red, planting the other one. But he wants to stay on the black because then it'll be one snooker if he can take reds and blacks up until the last red to tie. Lower value colours, he needs more snookers basically. It's a half decent chance though, this, to just keep the frame alive, maybe get an awkward snooker.
8.
Because this was missed. The pink before, positionally, he was never going to get right behind a red from the angle he had on the pink.
$60. $70.
Well, that's not quite right, but to play on the red up the table here, a little bit short of pace, that one. If the red was further in behind the black this down on the cushion, it would be
24.
a chance to get a snooker, but where it is, it's not really an easy shot to find a snooker.
$25.
We'll have to work out how he's going to make it happen from after this shot.
32.
Just thinking there, you know, there's an argument that he could have potted the red on the black. There's no reason why he had to leave the red on the table. He'd just been 31 behind on the yellow and chased the snookers there. That might have been a better answer because it wasn't a very promising place where the red was for getting one.
Of course, he's not won the frame yet, but equally from Carter's perspective, this is all sort of necessary mental energy being used up. Wouldn't have happened had he potted that red. And if he does lose the frame, then, you know, we talk about his temperament, but that's a real test of it.
No snooker there, but you feel that even where the pink is placed, it's quite a good ball to try and sneak the cue ball in behind at some point. That's significant. That's in Carter's favour. Black on the cushion. Bit of a game changer, that. Because obviously whatever happens, Mark Allen is going to need to pop red-black. A bit of a pause. It's not good, and he might have the chance to pop this red here. To the left corner, top.
Well, surely now he can drop this red in and end the frame once and for all. He made a good 71. A good early blue that he knocked in. Bearing in mind there was no fluency at all about the opening frame. It was missable, but he knocked it in and never looked back from that.
Six.
Quite an adventurous yellow. What about the green? All immaterial. The frame's over. As I say, the 71 did the damage. There was just a glimmer for Mark Allen there, but the minute the black went on the cushion, he was always going to struggle. Ali Carter's levelled up at 1 each. It's 1-1 in the second semi-final of the Masters. Ali Carter's won the second frame, and here he is starting frame 3.
Sometimes those shots, they don't look very good when you miss them like that, but you always, as a player, want to err on the side of going thin on those. If they're not natural to get up the table, you kind of don't really go for them. They're thinner than the angle that you're left with. Got this all wrong in his help. The yellow, he's not getting any. Serious misjudgment on safety, that one. See that shot played at this level very often. Called it much too thin, and I think overhit as well. So not a great combination, stopping the cue ball in bulk. There's another shot. You can see it hit side cushion, bottom cushion. Always going to land in behind the black on those. Great shot.
Well, he's seen Ali Carter start the scoring. He'll want to hit back himself.
Eight.
Well, it's not dead set, those two reds, and as you can see, when you look from the overhead camera, they're not as close together as all that either.
This is a big early shot in this frame. No, not really close. Yeah, just didn't quite control, unusually for him, position. And these are the chances Carter's going to want to seize upon. Unforced errors in his opponent's game.
One.
My word, if he wins the Masters, Ali Carter, nobody could possibly say he hadn't earned it. Mark Williams, Judd Trump, Mark Allen, and it would be Ronnie O'Sullivan to have won the tournament.
Five. Six.
Has this real bounce around the table, doesn't he? A real walk of purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say he might be a better player now than he's ever been. It could well be the case. You know, more rounded a player, safety and all of that. But, I don't see all that many changes in his cue action over the last 15, 20 years. Since I first watched him play.
14.
Very little seems to have changed. I know he has a coach, but he's got a rhythmical way of playing he has.
Thanks.
Well, now he's looking at the two reds that Mark Allen seemed interested in earlier. It might be a plant, but it's a little in doubt, actually, because there isn't a lot of room in there. He could hit a red on the way through to the second red. He's on it again. I think it's gettable, but you can see that everything's at close quarters in there. The plant's not absolutely dead on either. Probably get it, but I don't think it's a certainty. Well, he's put the cue ball just about where he wanted it, so we're going to soon find out how much of a good thing this plant is. He's just got to hit it, slightly aim the first red to this left jaw to get the second red on. Just about. And developed a couple more reds in the process. It didn't go into the middle of the pocket, but that again does not matter.
$35. $36.
Well, what makes this visit more significant, certainly if you can win the frame at this visit, is how it started, which is Mark Allen breaking down almost immediately.
$43. $44.
Very neatly played as well. It really has, once again, brought the Reds all out into the open now. He doesn't want to do what he did in the last frame, just about get over the winning line and have to fight to just sign and seal the frame later on. He'd like to do it here and now. He's got quite a lot of work to do, but the Reds are absolutely perfect.
$46. $47.
That's just slightly short of where he wanted to be. He didn't put the red into the middle of the pocket. He's trying to just brush it off, but it was not a very good shot, the last one. Recovered it well. Nice. And there's real purpose in
54.
Carter once again. And he now got his sort of teeth into the mash a little bit. More so, I think, than Mark Allen.
Yeah, and this is the thing. When he's playing well, he does exude this body language, this confidence. This real determination he has. See it, just the way he bounces around the table. It's like, I'm not leaving this table till the frame's won. That's why he was so disappointed when he missed that red in frame one, because he knew Mark Allen will be coming back, albeit needing snookers.
62. $63.
Well, he needs to begin. 62 in front, as you see, 59 on. Now, again, he wants to make sure,
70.
and he fairly will.
$71.
He's sort of gone missing a little bit, hasn't he, in terms of, if you're in the top 16, you're seen regularly. When he dropped out, going to qualifiers and below the radar and all of that, but winning the German Masters, got him back in. He got to the Players' Championship final. And Ali Carter currently 10 in the world, so no worries about his ranking position.
75.
All the confidence you can see here coming out in this frame. And as I say, it was significant how it started, the break. After Allen missed his own opportunity, was left with not an easy red to the green pocket and did not get close
82.
to it.
83. Night. 91. Can you turn that off, please?
Yeah, just a few messages coming in. Message on the table is that Ali Carter's playing really well after that first frame, and he needs
98.
this yellow for the 20th century break of this year's Masters.
And what a well-constructed break it's been. Very classy, always in, never fell out of position more than just a fraction on one black. So excellent break. Carter's off and running tonight. Never mind, damage has been done.
Very much so. And as I say, it's impressive, doubly so, because of how it all started with Allen missing. Carter hits the front at 2-1.
Thank you. The fourth frame. Mark Allen to break.
2-1 to Carter. Two pretty swift frames from him. We've seen this red come up quite a lot today.
Yeah, and I don't really think I'll ever understand it quite. I mean, people say you hit the reds thick, but look at the cue ball. I mean, he's played the cue ball, got it where he meant to. Some people say it's dependent on the referee and how the balls, how they actually, their style of setting them up. But that red has just flown up the table. And if you don't leave it on, like Mark Allen hasn't done, then you actually give your opponent a headache. But either way, it was out of control. Well, he's only just okay. He nearly pushed that red beyond the bottom of the bunch and made it potable.
Tickets go on general sale in the morning for next year, and already, because it was a priority sale this morning, already record tickets in that particular window have gone, so demand is expected to be high again. It really has become a hot ticket, hasn't it? They sold all standard tickets ahead of the tournament. And the great thing about this event is, because it's a top 16, you don't know who you'll be seeing, but you're guaranteed there'll be top players. And it seems you're guaranteed drama. Every match has been something to say.
I don't think that right-hand red is very available. Otherwise, Ali would not have played the shot he did. Probably as good as he could have hoped for. Important frame for Mark Allen, given he hasn't really got started yet, and he could fall a couple down at the mid-session, having sort of scrambled over the line in frame 1.
All these stats for the tournament are impressive, but I suppose they would be as they're in the semi-finals. Shot time from Mark Allen. I suppose you might expect that to be a bit lower, but as I say, he's found that he can tough out frames. I suspect it went up last night in that match, and obviously that's something, whatever happens, that 147 is something he's going to remember for, well, the rest of his life, making one in this event. Be fascinating that the Crucible won it, him and Ding. Of course, they couldn't get that bonus, 147,000 for 2 and Triple Crown tournaments. Of course, he could make another one here. That would count as well.
Little shake of the head because now he's finished where he has. He's just going to roll up. He's quite a lot of reds to cover here. He's got to get right in behind this.
Mark Allen.
We saw Ali Carter roll up to the black at the other end of the table and not reach yesterday, which is something every player's done, but it's very annoying. There was the fluked red. Well, I think it was a fluke anyway. Didn't see much of an apology. But you could plant that red to the left corner. Not a red close to a cushion which you could try and lay up to. That's the worry. Nothing very near to a cushion, very close. Maybe try a little glance off a thin red back up to bulk end. Wow. What a brilliant shot that was. That really was. Very clever.
Yeah, you feel like saying, don't try this at home. I mean, it's so skillful.
I mean, if you did that about the third attempt, you'd be pleased with it, wouldn't you? But the very first, even more so.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely true that, you know, the standards have gone up, yes, but in terms of the all-round game, especially now, you know, so many players just seem to have all the elements you need.
Well, that red was a little bit out of control there. He got the cue ball right, but the red was on its way back up there as well till he hit the blue. There's another one gone into that pocket. Is he playing all these shots? I don't think so. I think he tried to ensure that no reds came to the other end of the table. Chased the cue ball back up there. It's giving him a very good opportunity here when he's really could do with something happening for him.
3.
2 reds have gone in. Let's have a look at this one. Well, I mean, I don't know if he had half an eye on it. Didn't see an apology.
4.
I suppose it matters, really, but Carter might not be all that delighted to see it go in. Both of the reds. First one left him in that snooker after he potted it and rolled up to the yellow, and then this.
Ten. $11.
Well, this is not a good shot at all. It really isn't. I thought he's obviously not played. There's no gap to get on the black there, but I thought he would have played that a little bit more with right-hand side if he's played to get to the pink to the middle. He surely didn't play pink to the left corner and underhit it by that margin. He's finished kind of nowhere, really. This next pot got to be taken seriously. Well, when they start at that top jaw, they're not coming down with any nap. So he'll be furious. He's had a bit of luck in this frame and he's taken no advantage of it whatsoever. That was a good chance missed.
Yeah, it wasn't the most assured visit, that, from Mark Allen. He was saying last night that he was listening to what Shaun Murphy had been saying about his matches, and he wanted to sort of take a leaf out of his book. When he got in, be instinctive, don't look for problems, don't look for trouble. But it took a long time over that break. Eventually lost position and missed that tricky pink. So hasn't quite borne fruit yet, that approach in this match.
Seven.
Well, if Carter could go on and take advantage of this opportunity and get 3-1, it would be a very good start for him. But he's got work to do. Ideally, he'd love to play on the red above and to the right of the black, just to run it in and get on the black. Obviously not yet. That's a good shot. That's a really good shot. You know, he's an underrated rest player, Carter. I've always thought that he was good. I don't think of too many important balls I've ever seen him miss with the rest. So now he's on that red I was speaking about, and it kind of unlocks the frame a little bit.
14. $15.
Well, Well, he'll be sensing real opportunity here with Mark Allen yet to really get going in terms of his fluency. 36 he made in frame one, his highest break of the night so far. Carter since has had 71 and 100 exactly.
$22. $23.
Well, it wasn't so much missing the pink, it's where he left himself on it.
Yeah, always top jaw. And as I say, when the cloths were a little thicker and there was a nap which runs down from the top to the bottom, you know, you would aim
30.
at that part that Mark aimed for and it would pull down and just find a way of going into the pocket. It was almost what you aimed for.
31.
It still kind of exists, but the cloths are different now. His biggest worry,
37.
Mark Allen, is the way that he is without rhythm. But he was looking over at Ali Carter because Carter's ticking along quite nicely here. That's done since the end of frame one.
38.
Yeah, and he is getting on with it. 22 seconds a shot for the match. Allen's at 31. Obviously, Carter's made breaks, so you'd expect him to be quicker, but in general, he's just getting on with this.
$44. $45.
Yeah, that's, he's got the angle off this pink to head towards the two reds close together. So this is probably the shot, if he gets it right, that would take him over the line in the frame. Run this cue ball into the two reds here. Yeah, he stayed down on it. That one was not too high up the table on the pink. But he needs a couple of reds and colours, and that's a frame in the bank once again. Purposely played like that.
$52.
Lovely shot. It's on, and you know, even if he doesn't cannon that red out, he probably ends up on the red down the cushion. But now that this is where it is, this will be his frame ball red. All credit to Carter. This has been 3 very well played frames of snooker in a row. Concentrating very hard. He knows he could probably do with a ball or two more just to take them to the mid-session. This is what Carter does, you know. He's very industrious, working hard, taking frames.
66.
And this is the problem that Mark Allen appears to have.
Well, in the last two frames, his mistakes have been thoroughly punished. So he needs a complete turnaround in the second half.
67.
Try and get a bit of that natural aggression going. Because you know Carter's going to have that right to the end of this match, and he's playing good stuff.
73.
Well, the 71 in frame two, that could have been essential. We know he missed a red that he was pretty unhappy about, but then he made 100 exactly, and this could be one as well. So 3 big breaks in a row.
I like the way he played that, because the natural angle to get on the yellow is coming close to where the blue is, as you can see, right in line with the pocket. So he went deeper on the cue ball.
83.
Took it further down. And as you say, it's a chance for back-to-back hundreds in this great venue in front of a crowd that are very appreciative of what they're seeing.
86.
Must be a great feeling.
$90. $95.
Mark Allen had the chance. He just lost his way positionally. He was left that tricky pink that he missed in the middle. Ali Carter needs this pink, and it's back-to-back centuries. Well, he's asking the white to slow up, but it doesn't really matter. In fact, it doesn't matter at all. So 3 effectively frame-winning breaks in a row, 71, 100 and 101. Ali Carter looking very, very good tonight, having lost the opening frame. Mark Allen with a bit to think about at the interval. It's Carter who leads 3-1.
Lots of questions ahead of Ali Carter facing Mark Allen. Ali Carter, a man who he decided wants to be here more than any other snooker player. What a fairy tale story he's had over the course of the last number of years. Health implications, and nothing matters to him more right now than getting a win and going into his second ever Masters final. He's currently on course to do just that, leading the 2018 Masters champion 3 frames to 1. But we like to call the 1875 club. Some of the VIPs have come back in. We've got 2 likely lads on the snooker table here showing us really how it's done. And Jimmy, we mentioned at the top, Ali Carter could potentially upset the apple cart. It's on course to happen. It still could happen.
Yeah, he's played some really good stuff. The first frame, there was a few mistakes by both players, but then all of a sudden, Ali seems to have found his rhythm. And, you know, his cue ball control has been fantastic. He's made a century break. His safety's good. And has to be said, Mark Allen has missed a couple of positional shots, had a bit of luck and not capitalised on it. So 3-1 Ali Carter is a fair score.
Al, those first 4 frames can often go either. We often use the expression, it could be 2-all, it could be 3-1 to the other guy. Important 4 frames to Ali Carter, and that second one in particular.
Yeah, very much so. And there were a couple of statement shots in it, actually, right at the start of the nice break that he made. Of 71. It was a 27-minute opener, so he's got no rhythm. That's a fantastic long red to get himself started. He's hoping and willing the cue ball to stop shy of the baulk line, but then he's got something special. This blue that he dispatches with a minimum of fuss is a statement shot, to say the least. And then using his cue power, he's not a power merchant, as we know, the Judd Trumps and all that, but what he is very drilled in everything that he does. And I think so far in the match we're seeing, as we suggested at the top of this, that he's scoring by far the better of both players.
And then Jimmy, I mean, it was an absolute masterclass in terms of almost effortless break building eventually with Ali Carter in frames 3 and 4.
Yeah, you know, he's punishing and every mistake that Mark Allen is making. You know, this particular shot here, this is not the easiest shot, but you can see Mark straight up. He's missed it by so far. It doesn't even threaten the pocket. You know, if he gets close to that red, it probably goes safe if he misses it, because it was so far away. He's left Ali Carter banging the balls, you know. This is a nice plant. He's sort of opens up another 3 reds. And this is a new shot that the new players play now. Instead of sort of running through for the black or screwing for the blue, they screw, so they open all the reds and go down for a bulk colour. They know they're going to have another shot, and they know that all the balls are going to be open. This has to be held. You know, these are all nice shots. These have got to be, the cue's got to be delivered in a straight line. You know, plenty of bite on the cue ball. You know, and that was a nice settler, and he seems to have all the running at the moment.
And all it takes is for Mark Allen to go out of position and Carter capitalises.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a head of steam, and he looks like he's going to score any time he gets to the table, with any sort of look, actually, and into frame 4. But Mark Allen here, I don't even know whether he's playing. I suspect he's playing for the corner. It might be left middle. We don't know, Jim, but what happened was another bad mistake in close, and he's paid the price.
Yeah, I don't know whether he didn't follow through with the red, because, you know, not to be in the middle or into the own pocket was very strange. But that was a nice shot. Ali Carter staying down on the shot, Al.
I would like, actually, at the end of this, I think we can just ask our producer, just at the start of frame 3, the red that Mark Allen missed was very, very telling. I'm sure we'll get it in a few seconds, Radzi. The start of frame 3, as I spoke at the top of this match, the evolution of Mark Allen's game. He's not as punchy, he's not as flashy anymore. He plays a red that, for me, he should have been punching, and he tried to float it. So no wonder he's on that practice table, you know, trying to get some sort of flow in his cue arm there, because at the moment he's being stifled, and I actually think partly he's stifling himself in some way.
Al, this is, or rather Jimmy, this is almost an exact deja vu of what happened 24 hours ago. He was 3-1 down against Mark Selby. Granted, he hasn't hit a 1-4-7 break, but he's back in the practice room, and he's got it all to do.
Yeah, but he was 3-1 down in them 2 matches, because the other guys have played really well. He had a couple of chances that he would normally take, especially when he had them 2 flukes, and he didn't. And Ali Carter deserved to be 3-1 up, but I think what Alan said there, he's trying to find his cue action a bit. He's always talking about tinkering it, you know, and that practice he was doing there was really easy, just to sort of find, you know, to hit the middle of the cue ball and make sure the cue goes through, because, you know, to not be on the pink in the middle, and that red that Alan was on about, you know, that means that he's not cueing as good as he normally is.
Well, he doesn't have long to find that confidence and find that cue action, because very shortly the boys will get back out on the bays, and a reminder, what's at stake is a place in the Masters 2024 final. It's the first Triple Crown of the calendar year, and this is one of the big ones. In terms of the match that we're focusing on here, it's between Mark Allen and Ali Carter, and in terms of the stats and how things are playing out so far, in terms of frames, it's 3-1 Carter. Now, in terms of potting, things have changed for Ali Carter, because after that intermission, because of a slight issue in the audience, he was below 90%. Things have changed since then.
Yeah, he's going along nicely. I think that most of the pots that he's missed so far in this match, what's he missed? All told 7. Probably most of them were in frame 1, so we can put that to bed. He lost in any event. But what I'm seeing at the moment in the first 4 frames, what's dawned on me, touching on Mark Allen, because of the change in the nature of the way that he plays the game, he's actually quite passive, and it's good that his attitude's good and all that, but he's not sort of busy at the table, and because Ali's bossing it, Ali's very busy at the table, and that's given Mark Allen a big problem, and it's very difficult for him to handle it at the moment.
Well, 24 hours ago, Sean Murphy spoke about the fact that he's been aggressive, he's been on his toes. Will that happen to Mark Allen after the mid-session interval? Let's hand back to our commentary team of Neal Foulds and Dave Hendon.
Thank you. The 5th frame. Ali Carter to break.
So Ali Carter in a strong position, 3-1, but also the way he played to win those 3 on the spin, all
if
with
you shout out again,
sizable breaks.
Shot, you'll be asked to leave, whoever that was.
Well, Rob Spencer just laying the law down, just asking for a bit of order. Crowd always lively in London. It is Saturday night, after all. Yeah, there's Rob, a man true to his word. That person will be out if they do it again. Yes, back-to-back centuries, of course, 71 in the previous frame, so 3 really good breaks from Ali Carter. Mark Allen's highest break so far, 36.
with a trace of left-hand side. Try and get him behind the green, didn't manage it. Well, that is a mistake. And Mark Allen, who hasn't been forthright or positive in these frames, he's got a chance to sort of punch a red in here and get him, almost get his evening started, because despite winning the first frame, there wasn't a lot for him in those first four. Playing one of the lower reds here. Has he left the red on? Well, he has. Well, hey, how about that? Because that was, well, they're the kind of shots he was not even remotely looking like missing last night. He potted so many long reds into that left corner, of which most were more difficult than that one.
One.
Getting one good positional shot here, and it is the most wonderful chance you'll see.
It's another opening that's been presented to him. Of course, after that, you have to keep going. You have to focus and keep control and put the frame away. But once again, it's from an Allen mistake.
9.
Yeah, that's fine. He was sort of a bit watchful there on that screw shot. He thought he'd maybe overdone it. But it's straight, run through on the black. Keep going.
Seventeen.
Well, no chance to be dead straight on this
24.
red and stay for the black. I think he's heading up the table.
25.
Obviously, Mark Allen had those 15 minutes or so, putting in some practice to try and change things, but that chance he missed, and Ali getting straight back in, is just a continuation of what we saw before the interval. Still early in the frame, however.
Come on, Ali. 30. $31. 33.
Well, can't believe that was the area of the table he particularly wanted to play, and maybe the bottom red goes here, does it? Yeah. Want to be a bit further down. I think he was worried it was going to fall short of that and not be on it. The two reds above and just to the right of the black, if he could get on one of those two reds, it would open everything up for him. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What a chance again. You know, he's made back-to-back hundreds. They were before the mid-session, so sometimes it can just slip your mind that he's on chance to make 3 in a row, but he certainly is. And what a chance he's got to do that.
$49. $50.
Yeah, sometimes obviously the interval can just change the dynamic of a match, but it's like there hasn't been one. Same patterns, really. Mark Allen making an error and Ali Carter pouncing on it.
Played that well because he's gone so far that he can reach that left-hand red without the rest. Very focused tonight. He really is up for the task after first frame wasn't great for either player, really. But that's just one frame in possible 11. It doesn't matter. You can soon ease your way into the match, and he did that soon after.
$65.
Red colour's all he needs for another frame.
$66.
This really is very good stuff from Carter. Yes, Mark Allen missed the opening red of a chance. And it was a good opportunity, but he still has to take them, and he has.
73.
I can tell you, at no point in the history of the Masters has a player made 3 centuries in a row. The same player, that is. So this would be a moment of history if he could do it. Just underlining how well he's scoring in this tournament.
$81.
Well, the plant is not quite on. He's got to cut the first red thinner than the potting angle. Oh, he's done it. He's done it. Well, he's gone a little further than he would like. The 3 reds look quite awkward to get on, actually, right now. And if he was coming into them from the left side, the pink's blocking them. So it's not great, this. Good effort. Tried to trickle into them. That's a pity. He might have the red to the middle, though.
86.
A trace of right-hand side on this left-hand red. He might be able to drift it into the left middle and keep this break alive. Ah, brilliant. How well is he playing tonight?
Fantastic. So, still on for this record.
Neither one thing or t'other there. He's on the red, but it's awkward. Screws further across if this is easier.
95.
Just keeps potting balls here.
And again, it's just coming from one chance that Mark Allen's leaving him. It's not like Mark Allen, he's making mistake after mistake in frames. It's just one. And it's costing him dearly.
Yeah, you judged that well.
97.
Here we go then.
98.
This black, Ali Carter, becomes the first player ever to make 3 successive centuries in a match at the Masters. What a performance from the captain. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
105. Ali Carter.
Well, he made the ton. Doesn't matter about the yellow. 105 to follow 100 and 101. A sensational spell of scoring. And he's 2 from the final. He leads 4-1.
The 6th frame. Mark Allen to break.
Hello.
Well, it's a good break. We haven't seen that many good breaks. A lot of the time players will get in off them with an early chance. The double kiss has been avoided there, so that's quite a good safety shot. There's always the chance you'll hit the red on the way back up there. So what is the approach from Mark Allen? Because he's been a little bit tentative, I think, against Carter tonight. Not forceful in any way in any of these frames. He's got this mantra of slowing things down a little bit, but it's not working at all tonight. He's almost just taking his own game out of rhythm, but not his opponent. That's a very positive shot, but he's put reds all over near pockets here. Might be a red to the right corner that would interest him if the black goes to the left. Your eyes are immediately drawn to that red on the left side, but I wonder if he's interested in the other red to the other corner. He's certainly looking at it. Back on the original. Playing a screw shot here. Power. Seen worse, but he's left a red or two on.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't straightforward, but it feels like sort of hold the back page moment. He has missed, and now the question is, can Mark Allen get involved? So precious few chances, apart from those ones early in frames he wasn't putting away. Now does have the chance to hit back.
One.
And this is where that great determination he has may well come to the fore, because he's in trouble, make no mistake.
Yeah, interesting. He's on that black, and I wonder if Ali Carter might have been more controlled in going for the other red and just trying to land him behind the black, keep that way of playing going. But in the end, he went for the deep screw, which is taking him a bit out of his current way of striking the ball. Mark Allen is going to have to punish back here. Crucial that he does, because the match is slipping away from him quickly. Black spot's been held inadvertently. I'm not sure whether he meant to. Now what's going to happen? Where's it going to go? I assume he'll still be on the red, will he? Yep.
8.
Yeah, you can get through to the red, all right. There's no spot available, so it goes below its own spot, not touching the cue ball.
Nine.
Good shot there to screw through the two reds. He's almost one shot away from being in prime position himself.
$16. $17. $24. $25.
Well, the angle is there just to get down back towards the reds. Crowd are enthralled by what they're seeing. Match really has sprung into life in the last few frames.
And it's amazing when you start first frame, you think, well, this is midnight again. But that was a bit of an outlier. Once that was over, the breaks began. Of course, they've all been from Ali Carter so far. That's the thing.
31.
Well, we know how well he's scoring because we saw that wonderful maximum break last night. And he finished off with another century as well. But he's really been asked the question. So now is the time to deliver some answers. And he's slightly quicker around the table. More purposeful, I think, than
38.
earlier on.
$39. $46. $47.
Nice control there. So easy to have played onto the black into the other pocket, but he wanted to be that side of the table. A couple of reds to the right middle if he hasn't got any other obvious shot here, because he is quite straight on this black. Just below. It's not the best angle. So reds to either middle.
54.
Frame is not won yet. There's a few safe reds if he did go wrong, but he really wants to put this frame away a bit sharpish here.
$55. 62.
A couple of safest reds just take a bit of the pressure off here. It's been a very good break, this, under the circumstances. Having spent so long in that seat watching Ali Carter rack up the centuries.
Yeah, I think his mind has been made up, really, isn't it, for him, what he's got to start to do. And it certainly has made this match more interesting than he has now all of a sudden come to the party, and he's making this break.
70.
Been a good break. It was a good chance when he came to the table, but he's taken it well. Very good control. I mean, it's obvious. We say it a lot. Carter is slightly different the way he plays, but he's very close control. Mark Allen, that's what his game's all about.
What makes it more impressive is he simply had to make it. If he'd have broken down at any stage, that could have been 5-1. So it's not just winning the frame, it's making good use of just one chance that came along. Carter missed that tricky-ish red to the left corner.
79.
And this has been the result. This match is turning into terrific viewing now.
Clever shot, wasn't it? Because he knew the pink would be there when he pushed the other red to the middle. He knew his colour was not a problem. Fantastic. So, yes, this is the best by a mile he's played all evening.
85.
And this is a thing, if it's one chance snooker, then of course Allen could turn it round if he got that
86.
chance in each frame. So even though Carter's played superbly, he knows it's not over yet. So it's looking like 4 centuries in as many frames here.
$94.
Very impressive from Allen. Every credit to him, the way he's fought back here. Still in trouble, but more of this, and he can turn it round for sure. He makes a century of his own, having sat out 3 frames. Good job nobody left after that first frame, which was very scrappy. Because things have livened up considerably.
Yeah, I mean, he's finished low on the black, but actually it's not a bad thing because
101.
you can roll it in and be on the red up the table. There's still a chance of a very big break. And 1-4-3 is possible, although with the last red, it seems unlikely he'd take a black. Oh, never mind.
Well, Ali Carter, 3 centuries in a row. He whipped the crowd up into Saturday night fever, but Mark Allen is staying alive. He's made one of his own, and he trails 4-2.
Thank you.
So, Mark Allen
frame. Ali
has
Carter
won
to
the
break.
6th frame with a century. Ali Carter made 3 on the spin prior to that. It's 4-2 to the Englishman.
Well, the break-off shot has given Mark Allen a lot to think about. I mean, yes, he's made a century, but he hasn't got a lot of room to manoeuvre tonight. Given that he's still 4-2 down, he can't afford any mistakes of his own. He just wants to think that that last frame was some kind of springboard to better things. Because he was 4-1 down last night as well, it's safe to say. And the frame he'd won was the maximum break, so it was an odd match. When he trailed 4-2 last night, Mark Allen, on the points scored, he was miles ahead. It was crazy. I know he did a maximum, but trailing 4-2, but a lot more points than Mark Selby, who's won a lot of close frames.
Just to say, in terms of centuries in a row between two players, there's twice been 5 in a row in this tournament, both actually quarterfinals. Maguire and Robertson and Higgins and O'Sullivan.
Literally for a long time, he played a very, I'd say, brave shot. Maybe it's not quite the right word, but it was a risky shot. And it was not the worst kiss off the black and then the bunch, but I think he deserved something good to happen there. Had to really get underneath that cue ball there to make sure he could get it round the back of the yellow from the angle he was given.
6.
That's very important if this red goes, and it certainly does on that. I don't think he knew about it until he looked late on. This red is a good one to get on the black. It definitely went. It definitely went. We saw it. He saw it.
Mark Allen 6.
And just pushed it straight onto the other red, though. May not continue that run of centuries in this frame. You just get the feeling where the balls have already gone. But of course the tension ramps up as we get closer towards the end of the match anyway. This opening red is horrible if he's playing to pot this. Didn't look bad from there, but it's a tough shot. Just couldn't cue it, that was a problem.
Well, in the end, it was quite a handy kiss on that yellow. But just a few nerves creeping in. I suppose the players, you know, it's been such an extraordinary spell of scoring. They're so conscious now of leaving any sort of chance on.
was as much as a safety shot as anything else, to be honest. May have tried to go for the red, but the cue ball was landing underneath this black cushion. Yeah, very tense frame. Maybe a 50 would be a welcome break in this frame, where the balls already have gone to. Certainly a big frame, isn't it, for Mark Allen to go 5-2 down. The winning line is in view then for Ali Carter, and the way he's playing, you know, you feel that surely he would win from there. I think he might be playing this, but taking that cue ball back up the table a little bit here. You don't want a red to chase round, and that's what's happened. There's an opportunity to the middle, which, yes, he got the cue ball right, but had no real control over the reds coming back down.
Five.
I mean, he really would like to get pink or black back into the game here. If you could pop this and play on the pink, I don't know whether the pink spot is free or not, whether it's covered and it would go on the black spot. Which, of course, he'd be more than happy with.
6.
Looks to me as if the pink spot is covered. And that will be in his favour.
Just measuring the spot there. And the pink is going to go on it.
It can, yeah, it does go on there from the overhead, I must say. I felt that it wouldn't spot. He'll have to play on the black now. Which might be a blessing in disguise. I mean, with the red there, just roll this in on the red. The black's in the game as well. Maybe a big break is still on. If this black is now fully in play. Ooh, is this it? It's a terrible shot, really. I mean, that is not difficult.
13.
You know, to roll them down there. They've been going in comfortably, but as we saw down the line, it wasn't ever in. It was quite a way off. Still nearly went in, but he thought about it.
Again, not easy, but suddenly he's nearly half an hour that pod in the ball.
Yeah, you're right, though. It was not an easy shot, even if you're in full swing and you're playing well. You know, those shots from the cushion.
So Alan gets another opening.
Thank you.
Got all that cue out the way. I remember there was one year here, he was playing Mark Davis at the Masters, and he played a shot from the other end of the table with a long stuff and then dropped it all. Just reds went everywhere.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a pretty messy shot, wasn't it? He's got to play the black here, I mean, because there's no other red he can play on from any other colour. He's got to get that pocket clear. While he's lost control, he seems to have potted a lot of balls this frame, and he's only sort of mustered a lead of 27. It's not that big an advantage, so Carter is still in the game. He's red to keep the break going, thin. He didn't hit it thin.
Mark Allen 8.
Hit it about a half ball.
Yeah, so it's 27 minutes now since Carter potted the last ball of that third century. Didn't pot one in the last frame or this frame yet. But a couple of times he could have been punished. He wasn't in this one. Only 27 behind. Just looking to get involved again.
One.
Well, at least the colours are all going to be in play now, and the red's not quite so straightforward, but when the high-value colours and everything else is on or near its spots, you feel that you can achieve quite a bit. Goodness, that nearly stayed out. I think he was considering his next shot and almost forgot the one he was on there.
Eight.
Oh, that looks good. Well, at first, you felt the Reds were going to stick together, although he seems, that little grimace, that he's not entirely happy, but it looks, from here, absolutely fine. I'd like to have been straighter, perhaps, on the red. Very nice. If he was straight, he could just run it through on the black, no bother. Let's play a different red. So you feel this could be a very crucial juncture in the match, given that Carter has been stopped a little bit in his tracks, playing brilliantly to keep a 3-frame advantage. You know, that feels like a really big moment to me.
60.
If he can do it.
$17. $24.
Well, Alan had a couple of chances, but didn't make much of them. Seen Carter
25.
retain his positivity, went into those reds when he had the chance to try and get things open. And now it's a good chance, you've got to say this, to get to within one of another meeting with Ronnie O'Sullivan.
32.
It's funny, isn't it? 17-1 on the head-to-head, but probably the best meeting was the one Carter won at the Crucible for various reasons.
33.
Yeah, certainly O'Sullivan is not somebody that Carter enjoys running into, including in those 2 World Finals. They come from the same sort of area in Essex, often had practiced together over the years. And he's fully aware, and has been for about 30 years or more, what sort of player O'Sullivan is. Just get through to this.
41.
So he's got a 14-point lead here, but those 2 reds on the right might cause him a problem. They're not poorly placed as such, but you can easily try for positioning. It could go wrong. I think the angle on the black, he's probably got to run it through and try and head for the 2 reds. I think he'd like to play in an area where they were pottable in more than one pocket. So we'll have to wait one more red and colour before that happens.
48.
But it's still the most important part of this frame, and indeed maybe the match.
$49.
Off straight, looks perfect to get towards the reds now. Don't think he played it like that, because he wouldn't have particularly wanted to push that red towards the cushion, but with the lead of 28, red-black will be enough to leave Mark Allen wanting a snooker. So a lot of concentration in the next couple of shots.
No, stayed out, and that could be massive. As Neal said, he just needed the black as well. There was a lot of cue involved there, but you still fancied him for that.
Didn't expect him to miss that, quite honestly. I'm sure he didn't either, and it would only be significant if somehow Mark Allen could snatch this frame.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
I certainly would not put it past him. If you're going to miss those, he's always going to be in that way to the sort of right jaw. You're probably not going to miss him to the other side of the pocket. Well, it's not bad. He's not quite on it, but to the middle he'll be playing it. Cue ball is drifting down the table towards the bulk area. He'd like to be able to hold it before there. Playing it gently. Which he's done. Just gone a ball's width too far perhaps. Can he hold? Or has he got to come all around the angles? It's a big decision on this green. Played all around the angles with in a pretty measured way. So that was a big turning point potentially if he clears. Carter missed that red.
Yes, of course, centuries have their own significance, but the frames that make the psychological difference, certainly the ones where you make these clearances. John Higgins in the final 2006 cleared up in the decider to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course. Carter was 2 balls away from 5-2.
17.
Well, the only thing that could possibly go wrong here is, you know, he's got too big an angle. He's got to go up and down, and we saw yesterday in that maximum finish a bit short on the pink.
26.
He's done it again. It's a dreadful shot. There's still a chance for Carter. Yes, the natural angle around the angles, but just behind the pink is where he almost wouldn't have been able to miss. Now things could definitely go wrong.
Yeah, assuming he pots it, what sort of black is he going to leave himself this time?
He's hit this very hard.
32.
The angle was a wide, extravagant angle he played it at.
Black then for 4-3. It's a big, big moment in the match. Ali Carter was 2 balls from a 5-2 lead. But Mark Allen has stepped in and he's hanging on in there. Trailing just 4-3 now. Trying to keep a bit of energy up. 4-3, he's just won a big frame with a big clearance. Ali Carter tried to break off there.
The 8th frame.
But it's not his turn.
Mark Allen to break.
This is where Carter, you know, it's a test of his temperament. The belief that he's shown all week, he's got to keep because he's played wonderful snooker, but failed to make it 5-2, and now pressure has come on.
Well, a little flick of the leg to try and get the desired nudge on the green ball. He looked at the reds. I think he was fully aware of the implications there, or the possibilities. The red. It's a thin one, this. He was not under total control. Lots of banging and crashing going on, isn't there? You can hear on, sometimes right on the backswing. Don't know what they are. Noises all around this building. Well, has he even noticed that one yet? Has he looked at it? It's on. He needs to come and have a look. That will pot. Tight, yes. But he's doing the right thing that so many players seem not to do. At least give it a chance from behind the pocket, because that's how you can really tell, I think. I think it goes, but it is by a whisker, that's all. And even if it does go, you could hit it poorly and hit the other red. What else has he found? Goodness. He's also discovered a 3-ball plant, maybe. Well, it took him quite a while, I think, to realise that was on, because he wouldn't have been looking at the other red had he initially known that those 3 reds were dead set to the pocket. What a chance to just forget the last frame.
Yeah, he said yesterday after, of course, ultimately beating Trump, he said, I did lose my composure for a couple of frames. And obviously when that happens, you're more than likely going to lose them. Can't afford for that to happen here. That's how it started, of course.
Yeah, and of course he got the little flick on the green by kicking his leg up in the air. So obviously that made all the difference, Dave. That's why the cannon worked.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever in Joe Davis's old coaching book, but in this day and age, you've got to use everything you've got.
Yeah, well, I think we've all done that. Sort of trying to get a cue ball away from a cushion and almost trying to bounce it out with your body. But the standard tonight's been terrific, and the last frame very dramatic as well. So this is another classic match in the year when there's been so many here at the Masters.
20.
I mean, these are the top players in the world for a reason, and they've certainly delivered the goods this year. So many
27
exciting matches. We've got O'Sullivan in the final. That'll thrill the crowds, and whoever wins this match would fancy giving him more than a game on form. I mean, it's safe to say that this standard has been as good as anything that we've seen from the Rocket this week.
$35. $36.
Well, we saw Mark Allen miss a black from almost a better cue ball along this cushion. It nearly went in.
Alexandra 43.
I don't know what. I'd like to see that from along the cushion angle, because I'm not sure what you think's happened. Let's have a look at this. Is he saying it rolled off? Because he hit it firmly. I don't think he hit it right myself, seeing it again. I mean, obviously, if it has rolled out, and mark this one like that as well, it's the last thing you want to be seeing on the ball along the cushion, but I'm not certain it did.
Eight.
Yeah, it was never there. You could see that.
Mark Allen, 8.
Dragged it onto the right jaw, and that's the end of that. That's never going in.
Well, Ali Carter was furious as he went back to his seat, but he was only there for about a minute. 35 in front as he returns to the table. Back in.
Now what does he do? He's got the shot here. If you're 40 behind, you pot the black and you go into the reds because you've got to take the gamble. But when you're a few in front, do you really want to play that shot? Yeah. Speck of dust or something on the black ball. Gives him a bit of time to think if he's going to take on what is a big shot. Because the angle is quite wide on this black. Well, he took the shot on and he's not been very lucky. I don't think he could be faulted in any way for his intent there.
No, he did everything right on another day's on that red to the middle.
Ali Carter, 8.
Don't have to win every frame in one visit. He'd like to, obviously. But it's about trying to keep control. If you do have a lead, he's 43 in front. Looking for one more chance, I guess.
That's a slightly weak safety shot, and he wants that cue ball to go and go. If he's left that red with the other reds so well placed, it's a chance. Ali knows that he really does not want Mark Allen to pop this. Can barely look. Well, dropping it in like that gently, without any real punch through the ball, just makes the shot more difficult. If you could somehow punch this in, I don't think he'd have missed it. He barely missed any of those last night. A look of relief came over Ali Carter's face there as you saw him getting out of his chair. He dodged one there. Big frame, and he's got a 43-point lead. Which, with getting some balls on cushions, he just tried to do one there.
Another chance, 43 in front. And in it goes, great shot, big shot that. And if he can keep control here, surely he's going to be one from the final.
To me, that's a shot of the night. It's all about staying positive when he could have bailed out there. But now he's just got to finish off the job in this frame. Brilliant red. You might see more spectacular shots, but it's all about context sometimes. And he really had to get that.
Yeah, it's a different stage of the frame, but a bit like that pink yesterday against Trump when he was salvaged things. I think if he wins the Masters, and of course there's a long way to go yet, but certainly his attitude, his temperament will be the key difference. He's always been a terrific player, of course. He's kept heart, hasn't he, here?
He's got a bit lucky there. Just crept past that red he's close to.
15.
Nearly snookered himself on the red in the middle of the table.
So this is the ball that should make it 5-3. It's been quite a tense frame, this. But Carter has responded. It was a great pot, that long red. So Mark Allen will have to win the last three if he is to reach the final.
24.
Otherwise, it will be O'Sullivan-Carter. When you drop out the top 16, as Ali Carter, of course, did, that's why he's been missing from the Masters for a few years. Now, he can end up playing some pretty soulless matches. 10 in the morning, in front of basically nobody. This is the opposite. This is a huge crowd in a huge tournament and a huge occasion tomorrow if he can win one more frame.
$36.
So, a very interesting frame again. It's gone to Ali Carter, so he just holds off the Mark Allen comeback for now. And Carter is one from the final, leading 5-3.
Thank you. The ninth frame. Ali Carter to break.
Well, it's been a very exciting match, this. Great contest. Ali Carter 5, Mark Allen 3.
So what has he got, Mark Allen, from here? I'll be surprised if he didn't show us something. You know, he's in first here, and he must, in his scoring game together. The last frame of any match can always be the most difficult to win. He's overscrewed. He's really got hold of that. He played on the red below the black off 2 cushions, as you saw. Cue ball's come back almost on elastic there. This is very difficult to middle with a long bridge.
Mark Allen, 4.
Ali wants to see whether that red will pot below the black. It must be really in the balance. Can't quite get the angle to right behind the shot, so he had a bit of a lunge at one of these earlier on in the match from the other end of the table, which he lost his action on a little bit. Screw back. Well, not this time. Brilliant.
Wow, what a pot. What a pot. Well, fancying the job. Got his confidence really back after that last frame.
Five. Six.
I don't think he can get into the main bunch of reds, so it's the only reason he's playing on the loose one, because I don't think he had the shot to move reds or play on one. Nothing seems to go in there.
30.
The angle he's got on this red, though, the cue ball's heading towards the bunch, whether he likes it or not. That's not really what he would have been hoping for, not from a red into them. No real control available to him there at all on that shot. Tried to just slide off the bunch and disturb a few.
Alexandra, 14.
was another shot where he tried to force it a little bit into that same pocket as earlier. He's not done very much wrong all night, has he? But just the odd time he's overhit and he's lost his accuracy. But he's not left anything easy here. He's not got cover either. So, while it's not match over by any stretch, if Ali could pop this and get onto a colour to get these reds open, then it could be. He's looked at another plant. I mean, all I've seen is plants going in this evening, about 5 or 6 of them.
Strange game, isn't it? You're better to miss by a mile, aren't you? If you get as close as Mark Allen did, it's always going to stay in the jaws. And then, of course, he didn't get the cover. Ali Carter, the previous shot, reckoned the only red he could leave on was the one he was attempting. He left a tricky one, especially when you're 5-3 down. So it's all now about getting the angle to get into them. And if he can do that, he may be away here.
One.
Well, it's not bad. If he was away from the cushion even more, you'd say it was a good chance to put the cue ball forward about 6 inches. But it's just when you get that close to the cushion, you might be playing around 2 cushions into them. I don't know. Pink's just above the bunch, so it's protecting them a little bit. And there was something he had an interest in earlier in that pack of reds. Well, as you can see, he's decided that he's going to have to wait one.
6.
He's annoyed there because it was just a hope that he could just win the match at that visit. Could get the reds opened up.
Ali Carter 6.
Yes, he's determined not to do anything to give Allen an easy starter, because then with the breaks we've seen tonight, suddenly it's 5-4. Who knows, it's 5-all in about 20 minutes' time. So he's trying to make sure if Allen's going to get in, he's got to earn it.
I think there's a tendency to miss those on the thin side because you're worried about Keeble just crashing into everything, but he won't mind where they've all finished up. He's managed to get a bit of cover on the red that's closest to the left corner. But the onus is on Mark Allen now to get the ball safe from here. Quite a big mistake. If he'd hit that full ball, even more so, because the bottom would have been available. He had to get by the green. Choice of reds to left corner here.
Just can't quite get back in. He's had a few attempts there, but this time he's left a better chance for Mark Allen.
Yeah, I thought Ali played the shot, the positive shot. I mean, he didn't get all that close to potting the red, but he gave himself a chance. Can't really argue with that, but fortunately the red came out into open play, and Mark Allen is just got to find a bit extra now, stay in this match. Wonder if he'd consider playing the black, would he? Put the black back on the spot and get the cue ball down amongst the reds. I don't know if it's on his radar as a shot, but seems not to have given it any thought yet.
Six.
And this time certainly playing down onto the black, but look how close he's got to it.
Seven.
Well, he's literally on the black, isn't he? I don't think that will cut, will it? I mean, he wanted to play there. When he rolled the blue in, the angle on the red was exactly what he meant.
Sorry, Mark, what did you say?
I think he'd like to play the cut, but he'd be worried that he can't get his cue out of the way in time because the cue ball's going to be rushing back off the cushion back towards him. Oh, goodness, he's got the rest as well now. It's another thing that the cue ball could hit. It's all going to happen quickly, this. Horrible shot. Did well there in more than one way.
14.
Yeah, rapid reaction, certainly, to get everything out of the way again.
$50.
So, Mark Allen with a good chance now.
20.
I think the neutrals would like to see this match continue. It's been a really good match. Like so many others, had everything. Not least 4 centuries all in a row earlier on. But I think they've dried up for the minute and the tension's ramped up a few notches. Again, so out of character to see Mark play a shot without the usual control. He would have played to miss that red. Be able to red to the right corner. But he's okay, just about. Already wants to play. He's just the one below the pink and not a place on the left side where he can land on it. There you can see there's more room than it first looks from the top angle. So that's the red he wants. Perfect.
He's really having to summon these
34.
points up. He made the century, the 101 in frame 6, but he hasn't had another break so far over 40 in the match. That could change here, of course.
$35.
Well, I'm sure the cue ball flicked the pink on the way through there, and my eyes are going, and that might be white. Slowed down. Some sort of a disturbance, I think, in the crowd. I'm not sure what's going on up there.
Well, there seemed to be a lot of shouting out, and Mark Allen's taken a seat while it gets sorted out.
I don't know what the disturbance was. I heard some shouting. Yes. The medics were being alerted of something. I'm really not sure.
That could be it, yeah. Whatever. Mark Allen looks like he's... well, he put an apple behind there earlier. Maybe he's going to get it back again from Deshislava Boshalova.
Well, you knew that. How did you know that, Dave? It's like you...
My eyes are everywhere, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that, but you seem to predict pretty well there. I hope nothing's too serious, whatever it is that's not right up there. Your concerned looks, I think.
Neil, can you tell me what's going on?
Well, referee, understandably asking what's going on, Rob Spencer. Mark Allen just having that little bit of fruit to keep his energy up. It's unfortunate. We don't know exactly what it is, but obviously players stopped. It's hoping, of course, that visit would bear fruit. We'll have to wait, though, to see if it will or not when this match resumes. As I say, if someone's been taken ill, there's a lot of staff here. They have medics on site, as you'd expect here at Alexandra Palace. So help will be with that person very soon, if that's what it is. Yeah, we understand someone has been taken ill, so they'll, as I say, be getting that help, and players obviously will have to wait until that's sorted out for the match to resume. In general, I mean, the audiences have been brilliant, of course. The record ticket sales before we even started. It's a sort of event, I think it comes across so well on TV, and as I say, tickets on general sale in the morning, I'm sure they'll be snapped up very quickly, because at the Masters, whoever you see, it's a top player.
I think it's a nice time of year, isn't it? Just after Christmas, people look forward to the Masters every year. Sometimes a little later on in the month, isn't it? Or early February in the past, but it's always been a premier event on the calendar. And the fact that it's in London, I think, because with always been terrific crowds, the old conference centre was always great crowds there. Really nice venue to play, and that was... I don't think it was ever quite as good at the Wembley Arena. But now here we are, and year after year, things improve.
And we can now resume. Mark Allen trying to make this match a lot closer.
40.
Well, it looks bang on, doesn't it? But clearly, it's one of those plants which is absolutely on if you're right behind it straight. But you can throw it offline from where he is. Well played.
41.
But he hasn't put this frame away. Okay, there was that interruption. You felt that he might just win the frame there, but he's not going to, I don't think. Sure, he's going to have to play a roll up to a colour here or put something safe or not necessarily win the frame here and now. Interesting shot that, a good one I would say. Because he's got the snooker and he's put a little bit of difficulty into potting the green further down the line if it's Ali and he's a few behind. There's less chance of Mark Allen needing the green, put it this way, than Ali Carter with the scores as they are.
Well judged. I think yesterday that might not have reached, obviously on the old cloth, but this has been recovered overnight. Good speed that. Didn't play it too hard. Equally got there, so didn't give away any points.
It's not easy, is he playing the two-pitching glance? Done well there. I mean, he did hit more than one red on the way back up, but yeah, this frame is still live. You feel Allen has got the upper hand, but by no means has he won it yet. Carter might feel he could still pinch it and the match in doing so. What is the damage here? There's a red gone safe. That's the first thing that your eyes are drawn to. A lot of calling out at the moment. It doesn't always help the player in the way that perhaps whoever's doing it might think.
Well, it's certainly not a straightforward chance to win, is it? This ball's safe, but let's see how far he gets. Good first pot.
And the first step is to get back into the frame to the point where, of course, Mark Allen will need the safe green. Then it becomes anybody's. Can't always clear up in one scoring visit straight away, as much as you'd love to. Little bit square on this red. You'd like to have been a bit further
7
in behind it, I think. I'm not saying he won't pop this. And he's got a lovely angle to head up towards either green or red or certainly down that general area. What do you do? The green's kind of in the way of the cannon. I mean, he could play off the cushion just past the middle, knock the green out, hit it full ball, and then be on the red. But that's in a perfect world, you'd be able to play that shot, maybe on a computer game or something. Oh, goodness, he has played it. He's a bit unlucky. That's the problem. He's done everything right, but be on the red. Great effort, that.
15.
Absolutely. If he gets on the red there, you fancy him strongly to win frame and match.
Yeah, you know, full ball contact, develop the green, and have the lovely shot on the red. But the last part is what went wrong. He's right back into things, though, now. Right back in the frame. Although, what he does with this that's of any use, I don't know. Just play thin and keep away from it, maybe. Keep a bit of distance between the two balls. That's all he can do, isn't it? Is he going for it? He's going for this. Wow, what a shot. Didn't consider that he would even go for that. That was with lots of risk attached. That is such a good shot. A horrid angle.
It's one of those, if he doesn't get it, it's hanging in the jaws, but he did get it, and that tells you how well he's thinking here.
Yeah, there are problems all over the place here. Of course, green where it is, and hopefully won't have a problem where the brown is next to it. I think if he gets to pot this, he should be okay for green and brown. There's no reason why not. I mean, if this yellow goes in, there's a good chance it's match over. Real stretch, though. Real stretch. I like him with the rest. I wonder if he would have considered getting the rest out for that shot. Potentially a very big moment, wasn't it? Because it was a golden chance to be in the final on that yellow. You probably can visualise a position where he'd have been on the green perfectly. Pop, pop, pop. Shake hands. Got to do it all again now. Clever, very clever, using the shield of the green and brown to get the snooker. It's not a hard one to hit, but you know, he's still put him in a degree of difficulty.
Yeah, and Alan is the one under pressure here, obviously 5-3 down, can't afford to leave anything on.
You'd like to think that he could put distance between the balls. He rolls up to them, be in trouble again. That's why he's playing with a bit of pace on this. That's a good shot, this. Hasn't got the snooker, although he gave it every chance, but priority was keeping the yellow safe. That's also pretty well played. Good battle this, and of course nothing safe beyond this yellow. Well, has he got a snooker or not? He's not always known for getting the luck go his way, and he's not lucky at all because I think it's on.
Yeah, just for a moment, he looked like he got him nailed in behind that green and brown. Callan needs up to including the blue.
Well, one thing you know is, if he really wanted to, he's got the absolute guaranteed snooker behind the brown. But he doesn't really want to be playing that. But that's what he is playing.
Mark Allen, 2.
He wanted to win the frame there and then. And that's why, because snookers can be hit, things can happen. The safest way to get a frame one is to not let your opponent get out of their chair. This cue ball is a worry. This cue ball is a worry.
Carter 4.
Straight away, if the green had been not just anywhere further out, it's a complete gimme. But I don't think he can take it on. It's getting very nervy now, isn't it? It's not even a decider.
Yeah, 31.5 minutes, longest frame of the match. Ali Carter determined it'll be the last frame of the match.
Thanks, Mark.
And they've all had a look down the line, haven't they? You saw Carter was willing the green to just pull up.
Well, he might have to play this, but it's not an easy pot, and the cue ball is kind of coming across the table, not necessarily under complete control. You can hit the blue or pink on the way back across towards the brown. Pot has got to go in, though, more importantly. Nerves are fraying, aren't they?
Yeah, and these frames are great to watch, aren't they? The crowd get involved. The centuries are wonderful exhibitions of skill. We've seen 4 of them in the match. But these are the frames I think in many ways people remember. A right old scrap on the green. 4 points in it. It's either 5-4 or match over.
Well, that's safe, but you feel that Ali Carter's got a pretty straightforward safety shot here. Green across twice onto the vault cushion. Cue ball kind of heading down towards pink and black. I think the shot is there. He chose not to play that shot. He wanted to go for the big one, but at least from his point of view, he's left it safe. A little fortunately there.
Well, real duel, a war of attrition on this green. They've been on it now nearly 6 minutes.
This looks pretty handy. Just run on a bit further than he would have hoped. Ali Carter might have the shot here to play cushion first into the back of the green ball and get a snooker back if he executes it perfectly, because it's not easy to do that. He stops the cue ball roughly where the green is now. The likelihood is he'll keep the balls pretty safe. He's playing it. Not played it well though. Not got into it enough with side.
Well, a chance for Allen, but the pressure really is on here. Once again, he would need green, brown and blue, but it starts with a good pot on the green.
Well, balls are flying around everywhere now, aren't they? Nothing's anywhere near its spot for once.
Well, the good news is he hasn't left the green easily potable. The blues run safe-ish.
Well, you're right, it wasn't easy, but he found a way of knocking it in. If the blue was anywhere but there, you know, he might be able to take a gamble on this brown. It's an acute angle to the middle, but I mean, I don't think there's a way you could get from brown to blue. It's so narrow into the middle. You have to thump it in. Well, they're both in the same position now, because for a lot of this frame, Mark Allen had a lead. But now it's just down to the bare bones of what's left, isn't it? All the balls in somewhat strange places.
We've had the battle on the green, now the battle on the brown, and where the blue is, you know, it's not necessarily the case. Whoever pots this is going to go on and win the frame. 39 minutes of this already.
Foul in the miss.
Strange one, wasn't it? I mean, he
Alexandra.
obviously played hit it thin, but it wasn't going to be a wafer thin contact. He just got nowhere near it. I think he's worried about a double kiss maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, I will do, Mark, in a sec. Yeah.
He thinks he might somehow get some sort of a
Desi, can you just check
second kiss. I don't know. It's not an easy shot, both sort of down that right channel. Brown ball and cue ball. This is Slava's just trying to guide him as to where the cue ball was. Rob Spencer, the referee,
Okay.
that is.
Mark, yeah, Ollie.
And that was what he was worried about, wasn't it? Clearly, you know, hitting too much of the brown and then leaving it over the other pocket. I don't think it's easy to get from brown to blue at all, because using a lot of topspin, and then it doesn't seem to get the cue ball down the other end of the table very easily. The spin is kind of, it goes into reverse. That's as far as he could have got. So now, as you say, it's now battle of the blue.
That's the thing. When Mark Allen missed that green earlier and knocked the blue where it is, but for that, Carter could have won here.
Yeah, but Mark Allen really is on dangerous ground now, though, isn't he? Because another mistake with the pink near the pocket will surely be his last. Now, does it pass? Yes, and here we are. This is the biggest shot he's played for a long time, Ali Carter. He had a great career. He's won ranking events inside the last year, but this shot's big.
And he's got it. Well, it's been one of the best weeks of his career, I think. You put the three performances together. This pink. And it's a showdown with Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final. Ali Carter reaches his second Masters final. He played superbly again. 3 centuries in a row, the first player ever to do that in the Masters, and he has survived a very dramatic 42-minute final frame. He beats Mark Allen 6-3. Next up on Sunday, it's the Rocket. And if he can collect his thoughts, he'll be speaking to Rob Walker.
Ali, what a night and what a way to finish it off.
Yeah, it was. I really got it going in the middle there. Felt really good, and Mark showed what a great player he is. He made a good ton himself, and I felt like the balls were just turning a little bit in the middle there, but I really held myself together well, and yeah, delighted to have a crack at the Rocket tomorrow.
It's going to be epic. We can't wait. It'll be your 4th Triple Crown final, your 3rd against Ronnie, and you thoroughly deserve it. 3 centuries tonight. How close are you to being back to your best?
Yeah, I'm getting there. No, I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. It's going to be a big day, a long day. I'm relishing the challenge.
And we will relish watching. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain's in the final.
I don't think anybody would begrudge Ali Carter another shot at a Triple Crown title after the effort that he's put up to this point, given nothing short of 100% in every single match that he's played in. He's told us just how much it means to him, his journey over the recent years. What a fairy tale story. And can he go one final step further and lift the Paul Hunter Trophy? He does so against none other than the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, a man who's done so 7 times in the past. Ronnie is after his 8th, Ali is after his 1st. Jimmy, perfectly poised to be a historic final.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good match, you know. Ali Carter, when he first come in the studio the first day, he turned around and said, I'm playing really well. Players don't say that. You never hear a snooker player say they're playing well unless they're really playing well. And he proved how well he was tonight when he had 3 centuries consecutively in a semi-final against Mark Allen. Mark Allen was favourite to win that match because, you know, he's won more tournaments and just beat Mark Selby. But Ali Carter is in a good place, playing some real good snooker. I expect it's going to be a fantastic final.
One of the big question marks was about his temperament.
Yeah.
Every single match is a match table. 1,000, 2,000 people watching you, every single move. He got tested, final frame deciders, and his temperament lived up to it.
See, with snooker players, you're perfectionist in a way, especially when the balls are opened. You want to control the cue ball, make the next shot really easy. And when these top players make it like a schoolboy error, or a bad positional shot, or miss an easy one, they get frustrated. And in Ali Carter's career, down the years, he sort of took that into the next frame or into the, you know, gone back to his seat, and then all of a sudden he then gets another chance, and he's still like annoyed about the mistake he's made previous. Like the top players, when they miss, the winners, they go back to their seat and it's forgotten about. And I think Ali's, through working with Chris Henry and also how good a snooker player he is, he's got that combination together. And, you know, this is why he's in the final of the Masters, because we all know what a quality player is, but he's starting to prove it now.
And he showed us that quality not only by making the final, but, for example, with those 3 back-to-back centuries in frame 5, hitting the 3rd one. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, tremendous stuff, you know, tremendous cue ball control, you know. And who says it, if Ronnie O'Sullivan wouldn't have been around in them world finals, maybe he'd have been world champion.
Great
point. Because he's been there a few times. He's made a maximum at the Crucible. This was, you know, just, he went on a little run here of just fantastic. All the balls were in the middle of the pocket, wonderful control. Plays this black, OK. He tries to bounce a little bit more. Doesn't pot the yellow, but he's had 3 centuries on the spin, and I think that's a record, yeah.
What made that match all the more interesting was it was not one-sided by any stretch. In frame 7, for example, Mark Allen was beginning to close the gap.
Well, he misses this red Ali Carter. I don't know if we show it. No, this is when there's only 2 reds. I thought you meant when he made the century. This is in frame 7. Yeah, that was a big opportunity. He didn't quite get on the red right, and then Mark Allen does what he does. You know, tremendous match player, tremendous bottle, never gives up. Pots the green, goes all round the table, makes it 4-3. You know, this is similar to his 1-4-7 pink in the other pocket,
yes,
and it just pulls up just in time that he has a shot on the black, you know, because he will tell you a bit, Mark Allen, that it's not been at his best, but his will to win has kept him in this competition, but he's come up against someone who's consistently scoring, and he had no answer to it.
I wonder how tough it is to get across the line when you can smell that final. It's the final frame, what turned out to be frame 9, big misses from both men. It just added to the drama.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him. I just think he was stretching a bit on this yellow. You know, he's obviously got down and thinks he's comfortable, but he got his extent. It just, for me, just slightly stretching. And this was like a fantastic pot. It has an element of safety in it. Doesn't pot the brown, but plays a really good safety shot. Puts Mark Allen in trouble and gets some points from it. Then this brown, he just makes sure the brown. He can't get on the blue. More or less impossible, but plays another really good safety shot. So when he's switching from potting to safety, he's doing everything very well. Once that goes in the centre of the pocket, hand on the table, he's not going to miss this pink. And he deserved to win this match. And Mark Allen will tell him, you know, there's some words after when he shook his hand there, probably saying, you know, because all snooker players do give G to other snooker players when they play well. I said to him, like, you played really well there. You know, good luck to you in the final because, you know, he outplayed him in every department.
Massive credit to Ali Carter, although huge commendation to Mark Allen. One of the reasons that we absolutely love snooker is that there's respect, it's gentlemanly conduct the entire way, and it's humility whether you win or whether you lose. And case in point, Mark Allen right there. Let's hear what he said to Rachel after that enthralling match.
Mark, Ali's scored so well out there tonight, and it was quite a high-quality match, but a lot of tension in there as well.
There's no high quality in my end. It was all Ali's. Ali played really good. I was just hanging on, a bit like I've been doing all week, and I finally came up against someone that just played well on the night. You know, Selby and Higgins both had a lot of chances against me and didn't take them, and Ali took them, so fair play.
And in terms of your run here this week, I mean, it's been a long time since you've got deep in this event, and I hope that one day you look fondly on this 2024, the Masters, making a maximum break and reaching the semi-final. It's hard when you lose, but it's been, I think, a good week.
Yeah, to be honest, look, I'm disappointed, but I'm more disappointed in the way I've played all week. Coming here and getting beat's no disgrace. They're the best players in the world for a reason, but I just didn't play well all week, and I just struggled through, and I gave it everything, and a lot of people could learn from that. You know, I'll give it absolutely everything no matter what the score was in the match, even tonight at 4-1 down. But at some point you have to play well against these top players. You're going to get sent home.
Well, that was it, isn't it? Obviously the maximum last night. You battled so hard against Mark Selby from behind as well. And did you feel that you were still clinging on to the match tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Just didn't get anything going all week, and you can have all the tenacity and all the patience and all the mental strength in the world, but if you keep missing balls, you know, you're going to get caught out, and that's just what happened this week. You know, I played myself really well to every shot, every visit, and I was positive. Even 4-1 down tonight, I thought I can turn this around. I turned it around last night against Selby, so it just wasn't meant to be. I just need to play better. That's the bottom line.
I know you're working very hard, and sadly it's not going to be you in tomorrow's final, but it will be Ronnie O'Sullivan bidding for an 8th Masters title, and Ali Carter back in the final 4 years after he was last year at the Masters. Who wins tomorrow, Mark?
You can never sort of write off Ronnie. I know he hasn't played his best this week. He played pretty well against Sean from what I read. But like I said to Ali at the end, he's been the best player this week. He's scored heavy. If he plays the way he's been playing this week, I think he'll win. Will he though? That's the big question.
Well, the bigger question is how long does it take Mark Allen to eat an apple?
We'll keep doing interviews for you guys, so you're delaying my apple, so I'll go and enjoy the rest of it. Thanks.
Still going. Thank you so much for your time. Great sport as ever.
Thanks, Rhys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to see Mark Allen still smiling. But Jim, just moving our gaze now to the final, which is going to be kicking off in about 12 hours' time. The great news for Ali Carter is he's made it to another Triple Crown final. The bad news is he's playing Ronnie O'Sullivan, which is bad for two reasons. They've played each other 18 times. Ronnie O'Sullivan's won 17 of them. He's played Ronnie in 3 Triple Crown finals. I'll say it quietly, in case Ali's behind us. He isn't, thankfully. He's lost all of them. So why will the 4th be different? What can he do, Jim?
Well, Ali Carter, I think, is a different player now. I still think O'Sullivan will win, but I think Ali Carter is a different player now. He's scoring heavily. His temperament's a lot better. He should have won a lot more tournaments for his type of game that he's got. You know, his fantastic technique in the balls, scores as heavy. It has been his temperament for me that's let him down. But now working with Chris Henry, already won a tournament as well in Germany. I think he's up to number 5 in the world, ranking 7, something like that. I'm not 100%. Alan's a stat man, but he's having a fantastic season, full of confidence. And tonight he's just made 3 centuries on the spin against Mark Allen. So Ronnie O'Sullivan, bits and pieces. But, you know, if he's going to have any chance of beating O'Sullivan, it could be tomorrow if O'Sullivan plays like he did against Barry Hawkins. But I don't think that will happen. No disrespect to Barry. You know, he'll be kicking himself, Barry, because he had 100 chances. But I think Ronnie will be switched on tomorrow. All business, 8th Masters, chance to do it. So I do fancy him, yeah.
Well, here is the man here. Please, Ali, come and take a seat. What a performance. That was the second man through to the first Triple Crown final of the calendar year. Ali Carter, you must be... Well, how are you feeling? Are you relieved? Are you elated? Are you all of the above?
Yeah, I'm pretty steady, really. I'm, you know, I got it going in the middle of the match. Felt really good. Mark does what he does, you know, tried to find a way to win. Made it scrappy, made it gritty, made a great ton himself, you know, to let me know he was still there. But, you know, I was just, like I've said all week, I was confident that if I get my chances, I'm queuing well and I'm striking and aiming where intended, and that gives you confidence. And when the pressure comes on, you know that things are aligned.
They really are aligned. You spoke to us after the quarterfinals and said that you woke up feeling quite tired. You went for a run. Did you go for a run today?
I did, yeah. I did go for a run, and I didn't really sleep at all last night. And I really had to. Chris came to my house early on, and we went in my snooker room and done an hour. And then I got the old tracksuit on and went for a quick jog around the block. Done a bit of exercise, and that's woke me up and made me feel a lot better. So I'll be doing that tomorrow if I can drag myself out.
You'll probably sleep all right tonight, though, wouldn't you? If not had no sleep last night.
Yes,
I know
I
you're
will,
still
yeah.
buzzing, but I mean, we're going to show you a few shots in a while. But I mean, the 3 centuries, you know, on the spin, a record at the Masters, you know, like that's fantastic stuff. I really like that shot because you could have tucked him up behind the yellow.
Yeah.
And you hadn't had a shot the game before.
No, I was all
yeah, and then like, and this shot here to win to go within one. You know, these shots you do the game if you miss them, but you know you should get them. If that's like a black ball game, it's going to go in, isn't it?
Yes.
So you know, you've got to be confident in your cue action because you are striking them fantastic. You know, you're hitting the centre. All the balls are going in the centre. And I like this red as well because you had. When you made the 3 centuries, you missed one in here and he made the same.
That's right,
You stayed down on this shot a lot longer, but did that cost your mind, the one before?
Yeah, it did. I was up off it a little bit, wasn't I? This was horrible, this was.
Yeah, but this is fantastic. You miss it, you've done a lot, and like you've just stayed still. You know, there might have been a time as well that you might have refused that.
Yes.
You weren't confident, but you know you're playing well.
Yeah,
So,
I thought to myself, you know, you're here to try and win it, and I'm not going to win by playing safe all night.
Sorry, I'm getting excited here.
I like it, Jim.
Was you stretching on the yellow?
Yeah, stretching. I'm thinking I should get my, you know, I should have got my mini butt out.
Yeah.
But this is in a snooker player's mind. But that changes the weight of your cue. Right. And on that shot, you're naturally playing it with a bit of left, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the extra weight, yes, and the extra weight. I know. So I should have aimed it thin, but of course yeah. But anyway, anything's missable out there.
No, of course. But I mean, that was down to being stretching.
That was. Oh yeah. I didn't twitch it. I thought it was.
Would Chris we get in trouble for that?
Oh yeah. I'll get a spanking for that.
Can we talk about Chris Henry? Because for anyone who hasn't met him, he's a wonderful man. His energy is just addictive. What does he say to you when you are feeling a little bit low on energy and it's one of the biggest matches you can possibly play in?
He just says, I'm wired up and don't you worry. Let it come out. Just go out there, you know, assess, decide, commit. Don't be pondering around, looking at that, looking at this. Oh, does that one go? Oh, that. Oh, none of that. Just see the ball. We know the right shot, don't we? As soon as we look at it, and just get on with it. And that's what I'm trying to do, and not let the old negative thoughts come in my brain.
Can I ask maybe a bit of a personal question, which is you alluded to mantras yesterday. Could you tell us one of the mantras, or are they personal?
I'm 2024 Masters champion.
Quality. How important has that been to you, having that in your head and speaking it into reality?
I don't know. It's just why not tell yourself that? You got to believe it to get it. And sometimes that, you know, if you believe it, it does come your way. So I'm trying my best. I've got a big challenge tomorrow, but I've had a big challenge a week. I've had Williams, I've had Trump, I've had Mark, you know, Allen. Bring it on.
And Jimmy, that's exactly what you were just saying off air about the importance that you've got with mantras yourself.
But he's going to tell his subconscious when he wins tomorrow, I told you so.
Yeah, absolutely right. Mate, what a perfect way to finish.
But I also looked up paranoid in the dictionary and it said, who's asking?
Ah, very good. We're going to end on a pun and a gag. But does it get any better than that?
You know, he's in a great place. He knows he's got to play like that all day and all night tomorrow to win. He knows what he's got to do. He's playing the greatest player in the world. But he's happy with his game. He's happy mentally. If he doesn't win tomorrow, it's, you know, it's his success. He's going to build and build and build. If he wins, it's a quicker way of getting there.
Yeah. No, that's...
So you need Jimmy in your corner.
No, that's Jimmy.
He knows I know all this stuff. I just can't work it out.
You couldn't speak any more wiser words than that. End of.
End of transmission. All that is left for us to say is whatever you do, do not miss the final. It's going to be something special.